we'll go through some entertainment stories here, share them with you, and let's talk about the Met Gala for a moment. Beyonce is going to return.
It's so exciting because I was going back and forth. Should I go this year? But now I have my reasons.
Well, she's going to be the co-chair, and it'll make her first appearance at the event in 10 years. And she will join Nicole Kidman, Venus Williams, and Anna Wintour in leading the fundraiser, which supports the Costume Institute and coincides with the new costume art exhibition.
Do you know the theme she's picked for this year? Tractor pulls.
Tractor pulls are the theme.
Beyonce has picked tractor pulls.
Wow.
That's the theme of the Met Gala.
Well, she did the country thing.
Yeah.
So you remember?
Yeah, maybe that's a logical progression.
Additional hosts and committee members include stars like Sabrina Carpenter, Doja Cat, Sam Smith, and Zoe Kravitz. The exhibition, curated by Andrew Bolton, explores the centrality of the dressed body.
I thought so.
And will debut in the Met's new 12,000 square foot galleries. Met Gala fundraiser is going to take place on May 4th.
It's really the gala that we know is really predominantly focused on the entrance and the red carpet. Once the gala takes place, it's like any other gala with a couple performances and you know.
But it's like curated inside, like who you sit next to, which table you're at.
A lot of places do that. You know, a lot of award shows do that as well. Mm-hmm. You know, is there anything wildly unique, but to your understanding about what takes place whenever they talk about the Met Gala? They focus in on the entrance, the red carpet, and all of that stuff, going up the steps. Yeah,
I think there's just some crazy little things that happen, the surprises, which obviously are normal, but the way that what's her name, Anna Wintour, would curate it, like she would make sure people were sitting next together, not like the cool kids table, but like she would mix and match people that might not normally sit next to each other.
But they've always been very secretive about, not secretive, but they don't have any images of inside and what's happening at the presentation. The dress code for the evening will be announced at a later date, by the way. Timothée Chalamet stirred debate online after boldly praising his own work in Marty Supreme, telling interviewer Margaret Gardinier in a video that's been wiped from the internet. He said, "This is probably my best performance. I feel like I've been handing it." Well, it's okay to say that. That's your best performance. But then he goes on to say, "I feel like I've been handing in really, really committed top-of-the-line performances," noting this is some really top-level S. And he said, "It's important to say it out loud because the discipline and the work ethic I'm bringing to these things, I don't want people to take it for granted, and I don't want to take it for granted."
Listen, the truth of the matter is he is good. He's delivering good performances. And then he also went on to praise the Taco Supreme case.
Man. And Burrito Supreme.
So a few commenters said he's doing a bit much. Wait for the people to see it and give you acclaim before you tell them that they should be giving you acclaim. And a couple others said, I literally don't, but somebody else on the other side said, I literally don't see the issue with praising your own work and recognizing that you did an amazing job. The controversy arrives just as Chalamet secured a Golden Globe nomination and a Critics' Choice nod for his performance as ping pong hopeful Marty Mauser. Marty Supreme will hit theaters on Christmas Day.
His turn as Dylan was pretty amazing.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And I'm a So-So Dylan fan.
Right.
And it made me go back and listen to almost all of Dylan's catalog just to see if I've been missing out on anything.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
But I think it's important for him to state, because he's so young, he's a young little pretty boy, that he takes his craft very seriously.
I guess so.
You know what I mean?
Because he has been labeled as a pretty boy.
Yeah.
But he's backed it up with solid performances.
And comedically, he can pull it off as well. So he's got, listen, I'm interested in what he does.
Yeah. All right, so I have a few nefarious things to report on. Here's one from the Real Housewives. Jen Shah is getting an early release from jail.
Oh, that's good.
Yesterday was the big day.
I want her back in society.
For the jailbird / reality star. She walked out of the federal prison camp in Bryan, Texas.
Well, boys, I'm out of here.
After serving less than half of her 6.5-year sentence. Page 6 was told by the Bureau of Prisons spokesperson who said the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star was transferred to community confinement overseen by the Bureau of Prisons Phoenix Residential Reentry Management Office, which means the inmate is in either home confinement or a residential reentry center which is like a halfway house.
At this
and
point-
the spokesperson declined to give her exact location.
At this point, Preston, would it behoove the nation to look into a federal reality show penitentiary?
Can't hurt.
Yeah.
At this point.
I mean, you had the Chrisleys in there,
Starting
right?
to fill them up.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, wow. Listen to this. So this is a wild scene in Los Angeles Tuesday morning. Andy Dick was discovered slumped over and unconscious on an L.A. street. Eyewitnesses reported several of his friends ran to him and attempted to revive him as others called an ambulance. TMZ added that Dick was administered a shot of Narcan, of course, a life-saving medication that reverses opioid overdoses, though he reportedly was not taken to a hospital. Later in the day, he called TMZ and let them know that he was alive and okay, but he wouldn't discuss exactly what had happened. He has notoriously struggled with addiction in recent years. So,
And he's not admitting, apparently, that he has a problem. He's saying that he can handle it.
I guess.
And supposedly, because the way he was found runs contrary to this, but his drug of choice is crack,
Oh, it is.
right?
Yeah, well, I don't know what he was doing
Don't you
here.
get amped up on crack?
Yeah, and I have no idea what that. I mean, it's more of an amphetamine than a barbiturate or
maybe
or
you
an
crash
opioid.
afterwards.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he's getting into, but I hope he gets things straightened out,
Yeah.
man. All right, here's another one. And then we'll move on to some lighter things. Former Home Improvement star Zachary Ty Bryan was released from custody yesterday following his November 29th arrest for allegedly violating his probation for a prior domestic violence conviction. Records indicate that the charges, which Bryan denied at his arraignment last week, have been cleared, and he is scheduled to return to court for a probation violation hearing, and that will be on December 15th.
Okay, here's the idea. You know, they have these fan fests now, right?
Yeah.
Where you can go and you see the celebrities that you like. If you had a prison set up with all celebrity prisoners, right?
People would
Would
go.
it be on the phone, through the glass, that type of thing?
Yeah, depending on the level of,
I like
the crime. And perhaps you could have an open bar situation with a red velvet,
Yeah.
a robe.
It's almost like walking through a zoo.
like
you
a
know?
zoo. Yeah, basically.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get to be seen and
Right.
appreciated.
Pick up some money.
You get to see the person that for whatever reason, you've liked their work.
And in his situation, it goes to his wife, who
Yeah,
he
we could
was,
do that.
Yeah,
Make
exactly.
them restitution on debts
Yeah.
owed to society.
There you go.
I think we should
Let's look into that.
Really look into that. yeah.
I'm a promoter at heart.
Actress Kaylee Spaney is clearing the air about her relationship with Jacob Elordi after he revealed over the weekend that his phone wallpaper was a photo of them singing karaoke, a discovery that quickly sparked dating speculation. Speaking on the Today Show, she explained he's a dear friend and I'm so proud of him.
He's such a good karaoke singer.
Noting that they were probably singing Shakira or something, as you do.
Well, you know Jacob.
Spaney went on to describe how the photo came to be revealing and said, "We were just celebrating his incredible performance in Frankenstein."
So I watched that performance, Guillermo del Toro, and he's really good, Jacob Elordi.
Who does he play in that? I'm
plays
trying to think.
Frankenstein.
Then who the hell is Christian Bale? I thought Christian Bale was in that for some reason.
No, to the best of my knowledge,
Yeah,
no.
all right.
It's Jacob Elordi and Isaac,
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac, yeah.
Elordi previously addressed the wallpaper moment himself, saying, "Right now, my wallpaper is me and my beautiful friend Kaylee Spaney from Priscilla." Later adding, "I love her. What a performer." They starred together in the 2023 film Priscilla as Priscilla and Elvis Presley.
So right now, my wallpaper is different colors in the time.
Dude, that whole time I'm watching it, I thought that was Christian Bale as Frankenstein.
Christian Bale, Frankenstein, Jacob Elordi's like 6'5".
Yeah.
Okay, wait. When you say Frankenstein, do you mean the creature
the
or do you mean
monster? The monster. Yeah.
All right. So you thought that was Christian
I thought
Bale?
that was Christian Bale.
It's Jacob Elordi.
Oh my God.
Do you
Okay.
agree?
You
Great
were
performance?
today years old.
Dude, I thought that was Christian Bale.
I thought that was Danny DeVito.
Oh my God, that's really
All
funny.
right. Well, I'm
All
glad
right.
we were here for that moment.
I'm here for you, man.
All right. So it's been confirmed that Jennifer Lawrence and Josh Hutcherson will appear in the Hunger Games prequel, The Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping.
It's just peckish at this point.
While the prequel is set 24 years before the events of the Hunger Games, there is a scene in the book where a grown Peeta and Katniss Everdeen listen to Haymitch, and he recounts his Hunger Game to them. The upcoming film flashes back to a 16-year-old Haymitch and his time competing in the games.
Okay. In my defense, Steve, Christian Bale does play the monster in The Bride that's coming out next year.
Yes.
So in my mind, I had heard that. And then when I see this dude all made up and stuff like that, I just thought that was him.
Yeah, no.
Oh, my God.
No.
Okay. All right.
Let me know if anything else comes up.
No. Okay.
All right.
There are flying squirrels.
I mean, listen,
Why do squirrels fly?
the monster is all like, mangled
But
and stuff.
you
up.
see by
Yeah.
stature, he's
Yeah, but
enormous.
it's movie magic.
But they can make you look
Yeah, they
tall
can still-
and larger. So
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. So
And the nun from Oz was in West Side Story.
how about that? Well, you knew that.
I didn't.
All right. No word on exactly how Hutcherson and Lawrence will be factored into the new film, which will hit theaters November 20th of next year. Kevin James gets dumped at the altar in the upcoming rom-com called Solo Mio. And the story follows Matt, played by James, as he's urged to go on his honeymoon anyway, despite the marriage being called off at the very last moment. His trip to Italy leads to meeting Gia, who is played by Nicole Gramado, whom he has a connection, but he is too heartbroken or is he too heartbroken to explore it?
I find Kevin James so likable that anything, Paul Blart or what I will enjoy just about everything he's in. But have you seen? Are you aware of this social media thing that he has? I think it's mostly TikTok, Preston, where he believes he's found. And have you guys seen this lookalike guy who's a civilian that everybody says is actually just him?
Yeah.
And so he's apparently struck up this friendship. And Marissa, are you aware of this?
I am not, Steve.
Okay.
I'm hung up on the fact that he did a 41-day fast.
Whoa.
Then he must be dead. Yeah. So and the notion is that he's found this lookalike, but the cracks in that story have started to reveal themselves, and a lot of people are saying that it's just him playing the other guy.
Okay, so he may have created this whole thing.
But
which would be
he
funny.
does creative stuff like that.
He's a comedian at heart.
When he
so-
does the sound guy on movies, that whole running series,
Yeah.
where he's on the set of Godfather 2 as the sound guy, it's terrific.
Yeah, so maybe he's playing.
It could be, yeah.
Okay, so digging into it, it's a quote-unquote art teacher named Matt Taylor. And Matt Taylor has 381,000 follows on Instagram. I'm not sure what TikTok is.
Yeah, Marissa has pulled up. I see these screen caps of him, and it looks like it is absolutely, positively Kevin James.
Doesn't it?
I would have to hear the voice.
Yeah.
The voice would probably bring it home, but that looks like that's him, and I think that's definitely him.
It's him.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's a bit.
It's him. Yeah, it's a bit.
All right. But he's good at stuff like that. So the movie is going to be, Solo Mio is going to be in theaters on February 6th. I was bummed out to see this. Sad news for Nickelodeon fans. The actor behind the voice of Sheen Estevez and the adventures of Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius has passed away. Comedian Jeff Garcia, who voiced the character for the entire run of the show. They even had a spinoff, by the way, for Sheen. Sheen was my favorite character on that show.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Oh, it was hilarious. He had this toy he was obsessed with called Ultra Lord. Me and my family just loved him. But he was mourned by his son, Jojo Garcia, who wrote in the news on social media yesterday. He said, with a very heavy heart, I would like to inform everybody that my father, Jeff Garcia, passed away. Garcia's official cause of death has not yet been revealed. TMZ reported that the comedian was in and out of hospitals for the last several months for a variety of health reasons. And he was only 50 years old. So I was bummed out to see that this morning. Jon Stewart will receive the Comedic News and Commentary Award, which is a new honor at the Walter Cronkite Awards. Judges called The Daily Show host a pioneer, a vital voice, and someone who redefined satire as astute insights based on solid research.
So they've got a major get for this. Cronkite himself will appear.
Wow.
So that is, I don't know how they're doing it, but it's going to be an amazing thing.
They praised his Daily Show segment on Doge and noted that he remains relevant, bringing 5 valuable facts to light and promoting civic engagement. The Walter Cronkite Awards ceremony is going to take place at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., and that will be tomorrow, actually. So good on him. Law enforcement in Vermont is about to get a lot funnier. It's been confirmed that Super Troopers 3 will premiere in theaters next summer. Most of the franchise's cast returns. Jay Chandrasekhar returns to direct and star in the film, along with Kevin Heffernan, Steve Lemmy, Paul Soder, Eric Stolhansky, and Brian Cox and Marissa Coughlin are all on board.
So this is the franchise where the movies get released every 15 years.
Yeah, was Brian Cox in any of those former movies?
I believe he was. Yeah,
Wow.
He was their like chief or superintendent.
No kidding.
Yeah, he tried to always put him in line. I'm very excited for this. I love this series.
Yeah.
Super Troopers.
Matt and I went to see Super Troopers 2 in the theaters when it came out. I don't know, when was it? Like
while
2018
ago.
or something
Yeah.
like that. We were like, oh, we better get there early. It's going to be packed. We're going to Penn, so we thought all the college kids were going to be there. Guys, it was me, Matt, and one other dude who was filming it.
Wow.
And that was it. The entire theater was just 3 people.
Well, you forget a lot of times that things like right now, Napoleon Dynamite is like, you'll ask,
Yeah.
what? Well,
But a college
it means
kid
nothing. Yeah.
has no connection to
care.
this movie whatsoever.
Wow.
It's so good, though.
All right, let's see. I guess we can get to the clips then, Case, right?
Yeah.
All right, we'll start with this. A silent night, deadly night. A young man traumatized by his parents' murder on Christmas Eve comes back as a killer. And here, Mike P. Nelson goes into his thoughts when creating the remake. Here we go.
I really wanted to bring back Pamela, give her more. To me, again, it's important to make a movie that's important to me, and then it's also, I wanted to make something warm and cozy that was also kept in the spirit of the irreverence of the original, but didn't have to copy it.
I don't give a f.
Silent Night, Deadly Night is in theaters tomorrow. Next clip. Ella McKay. It's about a woman who finds herself suddenly promoted to governor and must juggle the chaos of public duty and family drama. And here, Jamie Lee Curtis says actually what she likes about the role most.
I like being a grounding force. I mean, I'm old enough now and I've been doing this for a long, long time. I feel really good to represent a trustworthy, trusted, safe place person. I try to do that as a Jamie human.
I don't think I want to see it.
Ella McKay is in theaters tomorrow.
Is this a comedy?
I have no idea. Never heard of it.
Not familiar.
Is it with Christian Bale?
I've seen commercials for it. They don't allude to anything about the movie.
Okay.
All right.
That's
It's
a
just-
bad campaign.
Yeah, it's just like people dancing around in a hallway.
Okay. All right.
Well, that's the way to sell it.
Yeah. All right. So we got stuff going on, and our first guest has already arrived.
There you go.
So they are here, and we're going to get Cara Buono here in just a moment from Stranger Things. I'm very excited. Can you tell?
Do you want to iron your Hellfire Club
I sure
shirt?
wish I could, man, or a steam or something
Damn
like
it.
that.
Sprinkle release.
We also have Mr. Skin on the program. Charlie Cox will be joining us. We have an announcement with the Pierre Show next week. We'll get that info out to you. We'll take a quick break, and we will come back in just a moment. Cara will be in our studio next. Stay there.
Grilled cheese day.
I'm sure it's a fantastic sandwich. Well, interesting. All right. Well, thank you, Alicia. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. Take
very
care.
cool.
All right. By the way,
So much good.
Bon Appetit's best ever grilled cheese. And then we got to take a break. Marissa just brought this to me.
What is it?
It's Bon Appetit's
Okay.
best ever grilled cheese. Butter goes in the pan, not on the bread.
Chicken in the bread pan.
To ensure golden, not burned toastiness, the exterior of the sandwich should be slicked with mayo, which has a higher smoke point than butter and possesses the combined browning power of oil and egg yolks.
So, okay, so now I absolutely have to try the mayo grilled
It says
cheese.
when mayo slicked bread. Now it's saying you don't cake it with
Right.
mayonnaise.
All right.
You just put a little bit on there and then
You
you put it
monster.
on the butter. And when the mayo slicked bread meets buttered pan, that's when the magic truly begins.
Interesting.
Opting for a cheese that melts well is paramount. American is the meltiest cheese there is. But a young cheddar cheese works well too and brings deeper flavor. If you want to go off script, stick to a soft or semi-soft cheese. Their high moisture content means that they're especially adept at turning molten. Once the sandwich is in the pan, pressing down with a spatula is helpful for achieving even toasting and for encouraging bread and cheese to meld together, but don't be overzealous. This is not a smashed cheese sandwich. Cut the sandwich diagonally. Thank you.
Yes.
And it says it's official. Sandwiches cut this way actually taste better. So I love it. That's great.
Are you going to try the mayo thing?
Yeah, I'll give it a
we're doing
shot.
Yeah,
tonight.
I'm going to have to try it.
I think I'd rather than be, I'd rather try before I deny.
Yeah.
So.
Did you just make that up?
No, it's actually from Stranger Things season 4. Argyle says that. All right, anyhow, it's National grilled cheese day. So enjoy, dear friend. Enjoy.
So hug a veteran.
All right. Please. Thank you for your service. We're going to take a break because we have two guests coming up. One is going to bring some oddities in for us.
Yes.
For the World Oddities Expo this weekend. And the other is going to be making an appearance for the 20th anniversary of Napoleon Dynamite. Uncle Rico himself.
20 years.
John Grice is going to be joining us. So we'll be back with those guys. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve
on 93.3 WMMR.
Thanks, Kat. There was this story. It's making the rounds. And it's actually a professional baseball player. Anthony Bass plays for the Toronto Blue Jays. And, you hear discussions about plane etiquette all the time as far as, sharing the armrest and taking your shoes off and all these other things.
Pleasuring yourself?
Pleasuring yourself.
Can't do that.
So there's a little bit of a controversy or a discussion or debate that's been popping up after he had tweeted about his recent flight saga. And it actually has to do with his wife. So the 35-year-old posted on Twitter a photo of his two toddler daughters on a flight playing on electronic devices. And you can see popcorn strewn all over the seat, all over the floor. And in the accompanying caption, he wrote, by the way, his spouse is traveling alone, and she's 22 weeks pregnant. He explained that the flight attendant on the trip had, quote, made his wife clean up their kids' food mess, and he voiced outrage over the situation. He wrote, the flight attendant on United just made my 22-week pregnant wife traveling with a 5-year-old and 2-year-old get on her hands and knees to pick up the popcorn mess by my youngest daughter. And then he wrote, are you kidding me? And so he obviously thought that was out of line for them to ask her to clean that stuff up.
Right.
And people responded to that. And I'm curious as to how you guys would respond.
So in the studio here, there's a picture of what it looked like around the area. Mm-hmm. And what you all have kids. I do not. So
I mean, when you have a kid, if you take it to a restaurant, take it. Take the child.
What is it?
Take your baby or your whatever, your toddler to a restaurant. A mess is inherent, right? It's going to happen every single time. It happens on planes. And Steve, as a parent, you are responsible for at least making an attempt to clean up that mess, right?
All right, you just hit it. That's exactly what. So as a non-child owner,
right?
You don't have it.
But that would be you make an effort at least.
Yes.
To clean up, to police the area a little bit. And I think somebody would say, here, let me help, or maybe the staff would assist. Just that alone gets you across the finish line.
And it's embarrassing, quite frankly, like especially at a restaurant, because you know that it's going to happen and you don't want it to happen. Yeah. But you are aware of the fact that if you have a toddler, it's going to happen. So just do the best you can to prevent it, and then when the mess inevitably does happen, clean it up as best you can.
The children were eating ribs.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I mean, I wouldn't even try to prevent it because you can't. It's going to happen. Right. However, you do more than try to clean it up. You clean it up.
All right.
In your case, you're seeing this, and this stuff is strewn obviously around and could be. It's not like, they're asking to resurface the chairs.
And listen, I don't think she should get up every time something falls on the floor. But like at some point, yes, so sorry. Let me, pick this all up.
Looking at the photo, I could see if the mom was sitting in the chair, she may see one kernel that we can see in this photo. And if they pointed it out to her, I think I would be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that they just made a mess like that. I'll clean its mess up. No, but I agree. I think you could clean it up. If you had a couple little errant, if you didn't get every single last one,
right.
that's acceptable. As long as you get in there and you just start doing some cleanup. And there were texters, for the most part, did side with the airline. The overwhelming amount did. But some did go the other way and think that, no, it's and somebody had posted like, what, if your kids make a mess at the movie theater, do you clean that up off the floor? Actually, yeah. Yes.
So I get. So the point of some of the detractors are saying, well, after they get off the flight, people come in and clean the thing. But as you said, Nick, you don't just say, "Wow, they'll get it."
Yeah, they'll get it. I'll make a total mess.
You
what the hell?
You have to make an attempt. But it's like there are two different people. There are the people that are like, what we're saying is like, yes, you have to attempt to clean it up. You have to clean it up. And there are people that just don't think you have to, and that it's not your job. Like, you paid to eat at the restaurant, so now you're going to leave the mess for the server to clean up. Like, there are people that just that's how they see it.
I know.
It's weird.
Yep. And flight attendants obviously were commenting quite ferociously about this.
I've seen people, and my heart goes out to them, like at restaurants where the kids making a mess or spilling over stuff, and then and literally getting down and cleaning up stuff and picking up stuff off the floor. And I've never seen it's you feel so bad because I think parents tend to feel 10 times worse than they probably need to be if the kids are making a mess. And I think most people understand, I got it. I understand it's hard to corral this. To me, it would seem they seem very embarrassed.
Most people do.
Yeah.
Some don't.
I know.
Some do not
I know.
care.
But I also, listen, I was never embarrassed or anything. And this is like something that I tell my brothers who have new babies is like, don't shelter them because they're babies and don't take them to the restaurant. I think that's why I can go out to eat and go to a restaurant is because I took Jace from the second he was able to go to a restaurant. Like
I taught it how to behave.
No, seriously though, honestly. Yeah. And like, I will say sometimes if like, he's like lounging I'm like, you're at a restaurant and he sits up because he's used to going to restaurants and he knows how to act in a restaurant.
Same with us. Same with us. My parents would take us out. We went to restaurants, and this is how you behave. This is what you do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, did we screw up? Yes, but we got that course right from the beginning.
Did he get this flight attendant fired? Was there a follow-up?
Okay, so there was a follow-up, and his response was he posted an update informing his followers that United Airlines is taking care of matters with the flight attendant internally.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I know, right?
So he's getting somebody's job.
But that's also him saying that. Like,
well, but if he's not saying that and it's actually the truth, and said flight attendant is now facing
right, but I'm just saying you don't know if it is.
Okay,
there are aspects to this story that are unclear.
Yeah, like people like that who are gonna just throw that out there.
Well, Kayla wants to comment on this real quick. Let me go to her. Hi, Kayla. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
Hey, what's up, Kayla?
So I just want to say I follow Sydney and her sister, Jessie James Decker. She's a music artist. She was married to football player Eric Decker. She still is, but he's no longer playing football. So she had posted about this yesterday before Anthony did. And I don't think it was that they wanted Sydney to clean up the popcorn. It was the way in which the flight attendant approached her. What I saw Sydney and Jessica originally posting yesterday was that the flight attendant came to her with a wipe. It was like, oh, the captain wants you to get every single drop of popcorn, which is kind of unrealistic when you're on a plane with 2 toddlers and 22 weeks pregnant. Like, obviously she was going to do her best, but to have her, like, it was just kind of more of an embarrassing situation, and the way the flight attendant went about it and what was said to her, like, you need to get every single drop.
By the way, how would the captain know? How would the captain know?
I'm sorry, sir. We have an issue in the...
we have a filthy child that's dropped popcorn all over the floor. Someone needs to kill it.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like they use that all the time. Like the captain said.
Captain doesn't know what's going on.
Captain doesn't know there's popcorn on the floor.
Yeah, I'm sure the captain didn't know, but I think it was just the way the flight attendant broached it. Like, you must get every single drop. Like, not just, hey, get what you can. Like, we understand she's 2. And it was also popcorn that United had given to her. It wasn't like she brought it on the plane herself.
Yeah, I'm still thinking you got to clean it up.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It wasn't that she wasn't going to clean it up. It was just the way that they went about it and were, like, adamant that they wanted her to get every single drop and, not...
They should have said colonel instead of
not drop.
Because that's what probably confused her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's pregnant. She's got baby brain.
What are you talking about? No, but I mean,
right,
so I think
you,
both sides sort of, now listen, it doesn't give you carte blanche to be rude.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't know. He didn't, in this particular post, he didn't indicate anything about them being rude.
I also think, like, anyone with kids where this is happening, they know, and you just got to hope that they're going to get it. Like, to say you need to clean up every last thing. Like, who says she wasn't going to,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you can't wait until they're off the plane to find out that they didn't.
Oh, you follow them home.
I mean,
I think I was going to follow you, did you?
I don't side with the lady whatsoever. And Kayla, like, she's calling in like she was standing there listening to every single bit of the conversation. And
there's a flight attendant at the front door.
Yeah, and she wasn't there, so she doesn't know. And I'm just looking at the mess there, and you just clean up after your kids. I'm sorry that you're pregnant and that you have 2 kids with you, but You know,
I agree. You almost sounded like Joker a little bit with the first one.
You want to know why there's popcorn?
All right, thank you very much, Marissa. Our next guest plays Karen Wheeler, Mrs. Wheeler, as Billy would say, on Stranger Things, and we are so excited to have her here this morning. Please welcome Cara Buono.
Hey, hi, I'm so happy to be here and be in Philadelphia.
Yeah, you were just going on about how much you like Philadelphia.
I love Philly. I was saying it's like, it reminds me of how, listen, I love New York. I'm a New Yorker, but it just kind of reminds me of like the soul of New York.
Yeah, and I agree because I'm born in New York, and I agree. That's why
real people.
That's why, yes, but there's a blue collar,
yes,
real people kind of thing that I fell in love with, and I've never looked back. So maybe you'll move to Philadelphia.
Maybe I will.
I told you guys I was debating my wardrobe this morning because I'm wearing my Hellfire Club
You didn't want to appear too
shirt. And
fanboyish?
Cara came right up and she's like, I love that shirt. She's like, I wear one too.
I do wear my Hellfire shirt. I do.
You know what's fascinating
Wonderful.
is the whole thing, and Preston is, we all adore the show. Preston lives and breathes it with his youngest and has seen it countless times.
5 times through.
Yeah, 5 times through. If you stop, and I'm thinking of you as an actress, you started with the cast as kids. And end with the cast as adults because of the length between seasons. So 5 seasons over 10 years. It's got to be an incredible anomaly in the world of acting and what you do.
That is the right word for it. It's an anomaly to do 5 seasons over a decade.
Yeah.
Partially, we had COVID, we had the strike, and then just also with the way the Duffers work, they do take their time. They had the luxury of time with being a streamer, but yeah, it was, it's half their life. It's very emotional because these are the formative years of these kids' lives. And now they're young adults, and we've all been on this journey together. And I have never had I don't think this will ever happen again.
I can't imagine how it would.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's got to be incredibly special. The relationship that you have. Now, we, as civilians, we see movies and we're like, oh, these actors, they must be best friends. They've worked on this movie. They know each other, 10 years later, we figure. And a lot of times the relationship ends right there. It's just the way the business is. You've got to work. You go to different places. But you guys have been a group for 10 years.
Yes.
I would imagine you've built some relationships that are going to last from here on out.
I think that, I've been acting for a few years myself. So I've been on from shows, and I recognize that I'm on a very unique experience, very special group of people. I've had great experiences in the past, but this will forever bond us.
Mm-hmm.
Even when we run into each other now, there's a great affection for everyone. Everyone does get along really well, including the families, because we spent a lot of time with the kids' parents.
Right.
Yeah. So it really is an extended family, and with the crew, I really truly adore every single person, from Crafty Dave, shout out to Crafty Dave, to our security, to my wonderful kids. It's just truly. I know we sound like bullshit, but
BS. It's okay, but
it's all true.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You started mentioning the cast. The hair and makeup people, do they know everything about everybody? Isn't that usually the case?
Even if you go get your hair cut, you're always talking to
That's
you're in the
true.
salon, you're at the barber shop. That's where all the
I love you in
tea is
particular.
spilled.
In particular, you have the wigs,
Yes.
which
Oh my God.
which are I love. They're so spot on.
Karen's hair evolution. I'm sorry to interrupt, Steve.
no.
I
Karen's
love that you guys are talking about this.
hair evolution is the most dramatic of all characters on that show.
Yeah.
And you had to have loved as they were like, okay, here's the new look.
I do. Well, also for Karen, not really being part of the action per se I really wanted to express her visually when we saw her. So the lesser time that she got, it would be like, oh my gosh, what is she doing with her hair? So her hair kind of expressed where she was in her life. It got a little bit bigger. It got blonder.
Didn't the wigs have names?
Yes, and Janet.
Yeah, you named the wigs.
We did. So Tammy was the good one. Tammy was when the perm was good and happy, and Tammy's happy and joyful, and Janet is the one who goes through the tubs, kind of gets beat up.
Okay. All right.
We would say, "Damn it, Janet."
I love it. I absolutely love it.
That's great.
You guys really paid attention.
Oh, no,
yeah. No, listen, I even know that. What is the? Okay, I'll tell you how much I paid attention. Heart of Thunder. Does that mean anything to you?
Is that okay? Wait a second.
Okay.
Is that with Billy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that when he comes to the door?
No, it's the book you're reading.
Oh my God! I have that book. You kept it. Clearly, I only looked at the drawing and not the title.
By the way, is that
Heart
the
of
book
Thunder.
that actually has him, the actor?
Yeah, Dacre Montgomery.
Dacre Montgomery, and they did that because you're reading.
They drew the illustration of him like in one of those romance novels,
sort of Fabio looking.
Fabio, exactly.
I know that. I know the housewife you are because I used to work in a bookstore, and those Harlequin romances. There was you times 1,000 every day.
Yes.
Those Harlequin and you. I think you speak to a kind of person because you are your character is, as you said, peripheral but essential because without you and without who we find out you're capable of being in the beginning of season 5, we don't have the heroics of your daughter. It's clear that you weren't just an accident. That does that make sense to you?
Well, thank you for that observation. Yeah. I mean, the Duffers always all the greatest showrunners, TV creators know the whole arc of the story from beginning to end.
Yeah.
For the story and the characters, and like you said, she's peripheral in a sense, but she contributes very important things like to Nancy conversations or providing some insight. So then when Karen does get her moment, it seems unexpected until you start to connect the dots to the little clues that we saw with Karen.
Yeah.
And I think that's really lovely when you see a character get a moment that is unexpected.
You become the mama bear. You become you become Ripley.
Exactly. And it's funny you say that because when I read the script and I said, can I? Well, I've
Get your hands off her, you bitch.
I want to say, stay away from my daughter, you bitch.
Yes.
They're like, no, we're not going to use that. I was like, come on.
Well, listen, and you brought a bottle of wine in here because
here we are.
Karen, for those who haven't seen, and it's no big deal because it's all out, but Karen uses a bottle of wine as a weapon. And I understand you got to keep the prop, and the Duffer Brothers made a little special presentation for you with that, right?
Yes, they did. I asked the prop department if I could have it at the end, and they kept dodging my question. And then it turned out that the Duffers had framed the broken wine bottle for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. And so is this a line of wine that you're having out now?
I'm Italian. I grew up in the Bronx. My grandparents from Italy. My grandpa used to make his own wine in the basement.
Okay.
He used to, give us a little wine with 7-Up when I was growing up. And we love wine. And when this happened, I just thought, well, this is has been on my mind for a while. And it was kind of the universe saying this is the time to do it. So I'm launching Caravita wines.
Caravita.
My grandmother's name was Caravita.
Okay.
So it means dear life.
Oh, that's awesome.
Our first bottle is Killer Chardonnay.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's actually delicious. I'm partnering with this amazing winery in California, family run, very hands-on. They make delicious wine called Silt Wine Company, and you can buy a Caravita wines.
What is the graphic on the label?
Oh, yes,
it kind of looks like the slash marks across your body at the beginning.
It is.
It is?
I love it.
It is an interpretation of it.
Okay.
All right, so you need to order it online?
Yeah, you can order it online at caravitawines.com.
I'm gonna
and it is
absolutely-
delicious. I wouldn't, as a down-to-earth person, I don't want to sell anything I'm not behind.
You got to do all the tastings?
Yes.
Great.
Oh, for sure.
Cara, I wanted to ask about Karen and creating a backstory for that
Yes.
character. And here's a question that I had because Karen is out of Ted Wheeler's league. Okay, she is.
Yeah.
What's the story behind that? How did she end up with him as a husband? Because he's a bore. He's a bit of a slog. He just sits on the couch and doesn't do much. I have a feeling that the Duffer Brothers are going to do him right in this final season, but we will see. But what's the story behind Karen and Ted being together?
Well, I always had my own idea of how they got together, and of course, things many maybe 15 years ago were a little different.
Yeah.
But in the Stranger Things on Broadway play, you see a high school Karen and Ted.
Okay.
So I would
sort of explain what the deal
it
is.
does. Karen is it? Oh, should I not tell what it is?
No, it's all good. I was just going to preface it by saying that for those who don't know, and I'm going to see the stage show in January. I have tickets. But the Duffer Brothers wrote that. This is canon to the series. Everything that happens in that is exactly in line with the show and written from the creators themselves. So that background is something that you had looked at?
This great one of the great writers on the show, Kate Tree Fry, she wrote the play and with the Duffers. I mean, everything is through them. And Karen is a very happy-go-lucky cheerleader.
Yeah.
Who likes to make out with Ted a lot. And they're like very full of life, and something went wrong along the way.
Okay.
It's a class. So I love the fascinating part of Stranger Things and the storyline. And again, we talk about you're away from the action, but I think it's essential for that to be happening to anchor us, in the humanity of the story. Like all these amazing things are going, the upside down. But here's really the world, and you're every story of somebody, a high school sweetheart, and the thing that I think that is great about the writing is you could have easily in the beginning been dismissed. Karen could have been dismissed. Oh, she doesn't appreciate this guy who works, but no, I felt immediately like they're not communicating in a way they need. They're right there for each other, but somehow it's missing it. And so you have the romance novel and the candles in the bathroom and the attention from Billy. All of that is feeding something that if were your husband was able to see that, Ted, it would be something. Does that seem true to you in the way the characters are evolved?
Yeah, Karen is the heart of the show. She is like, I think, a lot of women who become moms and have kids, you tend to put aside, they become your priority. Like I'm a mom and every decision I make is for her, for my daughter, like what's best for her. And you tend to put a little bit of yourself away. You pack it away and you don't kind of tend to you kind of forget your dreams and your wants quite often, like as a mom.
You got to put your kids first.
Yeah, of course. You put your kids, and there's nothing wrong with that per se. There's a lot of talk about not losing yourself as a mom, but I think that she represents this like the mom that holds everything together.
Yeah.
There in the show, and really is. The anchor, she's the house where all the kids come for their meals and can hang out. They go hang out in her basement.
You guys had those scenes in the beginning in season 1 where there was a lot more around the table family talking and interactions and those were I enjoyed those because there was a lot of funny byplay, But I mean, you were the voice of authority, where his dad had sort of checked out. And that's a dynamic, again, that resonates with a lot of people. Yes. I think a lot of people can find, they're thinking Stranger Things is so otherworldly, and it is, but you can find a scenario that rings true to you in the series.
Well, I think what's made the show so globally appealing is at the heart of it, it is about relationships. It is about the characters, these ordinary people put into extraordinary circumstances, and they do it for love because they love their friends and they love their family, and then you have the story of the monster and all the sci-fi effects. But at the heart of it, it's a story about family, friendships, and love.
Yeah, what drew me in as a diehard viewer is the kids in their group, and because I'm a similar age, I graduated in 1986 from high school, so that is my era, and the kids in their relationship and going on these little adventures, that was what drew me in, and obviously the nostalgia of the era. But as you had this side thing going on. Well, it's the main crux is the like you said, the monster thing, but the relationships and all this is what brought me in. Now this 5th season. I think it's decidedly different tone with everybody has hardened a little bit. The kids have grown up. They've seen a lot of trauma. They've shared a lot of trauma together. They're isolated in this town. They feel like captors. And so far, there's a little less humor and lightheartedness that you find in those first 4 seasons. Even when crazy stuff was going on, there were still light moments. And I'm hoping that a little bit of that works its way back in. I don't dislike the fact that it's gone because I know how the storyline has come about.
Right.
But the Duffers would always add in some great humor into this. And is there a little bit more coming in season 5? Maybe.
I love that you noticed that because that's true. Right, they've been under quarantine for 2 years, and especially when you see Dustin in the first episode. I mean, he's always the sort of the jokier one, and he's really heavy. You know, they didn't just dismiss him. The death of Eddie is like, and it's 2 years later, and he's still carrying that with him, and I love that's the truth of it. Yeah, there's still. I think there's even still humor, like especially in the first four episodes. You know, not as much.
Yeah.
But I even think when Millie says to Hopper, when she's explaining what happened at the Wheeler house, and he's like, "What? The Demogorgon?" And she goes, "Karen with her wine." That is one of my favorite lines. It's hilarious.
That's why the wine is so obvious.
Right. I mean, it's because it's like, he's so clueless as to what's going on. So I think it's delivered a little different.
Yeah. You know what, I'd read that you were on season 1, day 1, scene 1, take 1. You were right there. You've been there for the long haul, this whole thing. When the wrap up was approaching, you know, those last couple of weeks, when did that start to settle into you that, wow, this magic's going away? At least this day-to-day part of it is.
I am probably the most nostalgic person you've ever met. I have like 17,000 pictures on my phone, and I will just go, "Oh my gosh, look at this, look at this." So for me, it started on day 1. As we approached the last few weeks, I was very noticing. You know, they would strike certain sets that didn't exist anymore, and I would go into the stages, and I just was trying to avoid certain places. Now they're just like empty rooms.
Yeah.
And the last day, a lot of the families came. My husband and daughter came, and I was so happy to be in the last day, last scene, and I think it was the second or third last take of the
So
show.
all the way through.
And, from beginning to end.
It's my understanding, though you have a couple of lines, you had to keep doing it over and over because you were crying.
I have 2 lines at the end.
Right.
Literally, like.
But I mean, that's the full sweep from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we talked about you going up with these people, and in fact, was it Millie Bobby Brown gave you some sort of acknowledgement of you as mom, or
gave some gifts?
Yeah.
Yeah, she made these. We had a table read of the final script.
Yeah.
And we had not been given the scripts beforehand, so everyone was reading them for the first time as we were turning the pages and discovering how the series ended. And
how does it end?
She had made beaded bracelets for everybody, and mine said "Mama" on it.
Oh man, that's so cool.
I know, I'm going to start crying.
That's all good. No, it's been an amazing experience for me personally in my life, my family. I've really bonded with my youngest kid over this show, and it's our thing. We talk about it all the time, and we're caught up in all the social media. You know, there are so many sites out there of people that have their theories about about Dimension X and the Upside Down, and we're all in.
It's a global phenomenon.
Well, you know what's interesting? I heard the Duffers say that I think really connected me to them is that childhood is magical.
Yes.
And I think it just taps into all of our inner child.
Yeah.
And connects all of us globally, right? Like, and I love how, I've been on some great shows. I've done a lot of things, and I love meeting the fans. I love hearing about the fan theories. I love seeing the fan art. I love seeing the cosplay, and I love that connection. I don't know any other. I mean, there's some other shows I think like Wednesday, and that do connect people. But I will forever be so grateful for this opportunity to have these conversations. I enjoy it, and the Duffers enjoy it, and I just enjoy talking about all of the aspects of it.
We love that you enjoy it.
Yes,
I do. I'm a total geek.
You were part of The Sopranos. You're the Hulk's mother in Hulk.
The first Hulk before it ever.
Ang Lee. That's no shoddy director there. So you've had these things and these pop culture moments. But again, this is for people who have waited and are still not on the Stranger Things bandwagon. It's something that do you proselytize the message when you go out? Do you tell people who aren't watching the series, you need to check it out? And if so, how do you sell it? I know it'll sound self-serving.
No, it's funny because sometimes you do a project and you're like, I don't know how many people will like this, or it's not their cup of tea. And I remember describing the first season. I said, it's about this small town and this boy goes missing and the kids go team up to go look for him. And they kind of had this, like, okay, doesn't sound that interesting. And, there's a monster.
Right, yeah.
And people were
okay.
Okay. And I said, you're going to like it. There's just something special about it. I just tell people, I promise you'll like it.
Yeah.
It's one of those shows that no matter what, you'll find something, whether it's the music, the kids, the science fiction, the special effects. Like, there's just really something for everyone that crosses all across the generation.
And you're part of it. And it's again, a global phenomenon, and it's one for the history books. There's not going to be another series like it.
We could talk for hours.
We could.
But you have to go. You're a busy person, so we appreciate the time that you've given us, and I'm so excited.
Thank you for being, like, you guys are super fans, and I truly love the conversation about all the details.
Thank you so much. You've done great, and continued success. Thank you. Cara Buono, guys, from Stranger Things this morning. And don't forget, Christmas Day. Christmas Day, right? The 25th. That's when
Christmas Day, and then the finale is New Year's Eve.
I'm going to be in the movie theater to see that.
Did you get tickets for the movie theater?
Not yet, but I'm working on it.
I think it's selling out.
Yeah. I will be there for. I know a couple people. I think.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cara. Appreciate it. All right, we'll take a break, and we will be right back, my friend. Make sure you stay with us.
Because it hasn't been trained properly.
Let me go.
And he carved a smile in my face.
Let me go to Jeff. Hey, Jeff. Good morning.
Good morning, Ed. How are you guys?
Good morning, Ed, buddy. What's going on?
All right, so I have 4 of those little things that tend to follow me around everywhere.
Yeah, right. Damn things.
So by like kid 2 or 3, you kind of, like Nick said,
Yeah.
It's not like you want this to happen, but this is going to happen.
Yes.
There's no avoiding it, so we always just kind of plan ahead. When we sit at a restaurant, I'll get a couple napkins, unfold them, and put them on the sides of the high chair. And we have, like, for when we fly and everything, we have travel, like, little map.
Oh, we're losing you.
Travel.
On there, you just bundle it up,
little
and,
mats.
dump it out in the trash can, and move along.
So, yeah,
you should be prepared for the mess. Yeah,
I flew, Jeff. I flew. In fact, was it flying back from
Florida?
Florida. There was a mother and a kid next. This kid was like, mother. Like
oh yeah,
like a more traveled.
I was sitting in front of you,
right? Yes. This kid, you heard me. I kept saying, "What is this, a dwarf?
It was the nicest
This kid is better traveling than adults."
If you're traveling with a child or a toddler, inherently, my heart goes out to you because it's a chore, right? And there's also that part of me that, like, when I'm on the plane and I hear the baby crying, it's annoying. Like, if I want to go to sleep, I get the fact that, like, it's going to get under people's skins, but as a parent, there's very little you can do to control that. Your heart has to go out to the parents.
Shell was a pro at traveling with our kids when they were babies.
She was such a pro.
She had a system.
She would help out other parents on the plane. Your wife would come on the plane with treats for other kids.
She didn't want me to fly with them because I would mess up the system.
Yes.
Yeah, I kid you not. She preferred it when we
I don't want you there.
Yeah.
You don't know how to treat them. Preston, this makes me think of this hilarious. I think it's the pilot episode of Modern Family. Cam and Mitch, the gay couple have adopted a kid. They're getting on the plane. They don't know how to travel with the kid, and so they I think it's Cam is feeding the baby some treats, and so somebody walking by goes, "Look at the baby with the cream puffs." And so I forget which one is Cam and which one is Matt, but the one is the lawyer. Gets a gay couple with
cream puffs.
And he's feeding him cream puffs. And then, I think Cam gets up and goes, "We'd like to pay for beverages for everyone."
All right, so here's a different side of this conversation that somebody texted in about. So This says, my husband gets peanuts at the Phillies games and drops all the shells on the ground under his seat. It bothers me so much, but he acts like it's no big deal.
You know what? So here's the deal.
I'm a
You
hypocrite.
actually raised a
That's
good
what
question.
you do there.
Yeah.
Like, you remember the ground rounds?
Of course.
That was part of their thing?
That was their thing. You could throw peanuts on the ground, the shells. It was no big deal. It's expected.
I went to a urologist who had the same policy.
Wow.
That was the same policy, you know. A medical waste. No, but so that at a ball game,
Peanuts.
do you collect up your peanut shells?
And sunflower seeds. People spit them out.
How do they clean up the seeds? Because I've never actually stuck around to see how all that stuff is done.
A leaf blower, right?
Is it a leaf blower?
Don't they come through and like literally blow down the sections?
Yeah.
Would you guys hold on to the shells and put it in a cup or whatever?
No,
or
No, right on the floor.
I do the ground thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
because it's
Total
it's what
hypocrite.
everybody does.
So you just like when talked about this woman, she has to clean up.
Well,
Now you're
that's the-
tossing peanut shells at your feet.
But I
it's
wouldn't
at
do it on a
ball-
plane.
It's at a ballpark.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of
still.
Now,
I would put it in
listen,
a cup, Kathy.
Hang on, I wouldn't leave my empty beer cups and other
Right,
trash.
Stool.
But I'm facing my hypocrisy here. But peanut shells, they go right on the ground.
Oh my God.
Absolutely,
They're biodegradable.
They're biodegradable.
You're
It's
outside.
good for the environment. We're making compost over here.
Yeah.
I do keep it in my area. Like I will try not to do it to the row in front of me.
I'll tell you the delineation. If you're eating peanuts or popcorn in a theater, you're not going to.
No.
You're not going to do that.
Yep.
Because that's indoors. This is an outdoor park. I can understand the gray area there. I probably would still, put the shells in a cup or something, or on the person in front of me's head.
Yeah, so I was a busboy, I was a waiter, and I also cleaned the cafeteria at college, right? So after lunch and dinner, I would clean the cafeteria, and that one pissed me off because when you go get your food, you get it on a tray, and when you're done with your meal, you take the tray and you put it right. There were racks for you to put your trays, and nobody would ever do that. So this is not me bitching about that, but it gave me more of an appreciation. So I tend to clean up after myself. Like if I go out to eat with, whether I'm with the children or not, I will. When I'm done, kind of like stack and put everything
it on the
together
tray.
And,
put it on the tray and bring the tray back up. That's what you do.
We try to make it as efficient for the server or busboy as we possibly can. It's just something we've always done. I mean, Rochelle was a server. I worked in a restaurant. I was in the kitchen. So
you're pre-bussing.
We kind of pre-bus the table. I don't fully do the wipe down or anything like that.
But you'll refinish
it.
it.
Collect everything. Yeah, we'll put a little lacquer on it.
I sand it down.
Stain.
You got to sand it down first.
Yes.
Right.
Then you got to clean up.
Yeah. Hang on. I want to go to Steph, who is a server. Hi, Stephanie. Good morning.
Morning. Sorry to bother you at work.
Nah. What's up, Steph?
So I'm a server. One, I want to agree with Casey. That girl has no idea what went on that flight. She was not there.
All right. Okay.
Second, I watch people all the time come in with kids. 1, 2, 3 kids. Sometimes it's just 1 and 2 parents, but the kid will outnumber them no matter what. Mess everywhere. I see them start to clean up. I'll usually stop them because they made the attempt. Just making the attempt made me happy.
Okay.
In fact, I like when they just wipe it right on the floor. It's so much easier just to sweep it up. I'm okay with that. But at least try. At least try.
So what we said earlier, and I think that's it. Just that effort alone for you, and you deal with this all the time, makes all the difference in the world.
That's right. Never
All right.
be presumptuous. Thank you.
All right. There we
Thank
go.
you.
See, from
Appreciate it,
a
Steph.
professional.
Hang on here. Pat has a comment. Hi, Pat. Good morning.
Good morning, Ed.
Hey, good morning, man. What's up, Pat?
Patrick. I just wanted to say, on the other end of it, when a flight's over, I mean, they do clean the planes, right? In that situation, I see a pregnant woman, there's a mess on the floor, and I'm an employee there, I'm probably going to talk crap about them behind their back, but I'm probably just going to grab a vacuum and clean it up before I go tell a pregnant woman to get on the floor and clean it up.
So Pat, you're the passenger who's supposed to get onto the next plane, right? And your flight's at 1:30, and you got to wait for the flight attendants to clean up after all the kids that are on the plane. You can't board the plane until the flight attendants clean everything up. So what you're saying here now is all right, well, there's 150 people on the plane. Everybody can make a mess, and the flight attendant's got to clean it up.
I mean, I could probably, with a little dustbuster, clean up my popcorn in about 10 seconds.
No, so what, they come in, they're ready to go, and they can clean it up. However, just would it be too much to make an effort, Pat? I think that's what people are saying is that.
Not at all. Not at all. But I'm just saying, rather than ended up on the news,
Yeah.
just have a dustbuster.
You got to understand, there's literally nothing else going on in the world than this.
That's the thing.
And that's why it cut through.
It's on the news not because of the flight attendant, but because of the privileged
celebrity.
baseball player.
Yeah,
He's a baseball player.
Yeah.
All right. Well, interesting. All right, Pat. Thanks for your 2 cents. Let me see. I will go to. Hang on a second. Peter. Hi, Peter. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Peter.
No, first of all, as Pierre would say, it could have been avoided. To Nick's point, it's going to happen. Parents, though, can be a little bit responsible, but giving a kid a toddler popcorn is like giving them a glitter bomb. It's going to end up everywhere. And in a public location, come on, man, a little foresight.
Are you talking about on the airlines side?
Yes, sir. Yes, I am.
Because the airline gave him the popcorn.
Yeah.
So something that's more containable as a treat or to keep the kid occupied, anything other than popcorn.
Well, my understanding is they usually hand out to the kids, they'll hand out gravy boats.
Oh, okay. Well, no, and listen, any snack item you're going to give to a kid is like that. We're talking about Cheerios. We're talking about, pretzels and things like that. So it's going to make a mess, no matter what. I mean, here, we keep calling these kids it. All right. Well, thank you, Peter. I appreciate it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. It's not trained.
It's angry.
That sounded horrible. Oh, my God. I will.
You spilled it all over the floor.
I have Mike. Hey, Mike. Good morning.
Hey, bitches.
Hey, what? What's up, Mike?
How you doing?
Good. What's up, buddy?
A bunch of years ago, when my son was a lot younger, we were shopping at Acme, and he accidentally knocked over a display and knocked over a bunch of stuff. So he looked at me, I looked at him, and I said, you know what you need to do right now, right? He said, clean it up. I said, that's my boy.
There you go.
He started cleaning it up. No muss, no fuss. Next thing I know, a woman comes around the corner, sees what's going on, and chastises me because my son's cleaning up his own mess. And she started to clean it up for him.
Wait, this was a customer, a fellow customer?
Yeah, just some random person.
Was it a woman? Does a woman just butted into your thing?
What's that?
A woman just started criticizing you out of the blue? Was that who came around the corner?
I think we lost it. Yeah, it was a fellow customer.
Yeah.
Who said that? I'd mind your own goddamn business.
I'd punch her right in the face.
Yeah, that's basically what I said. I was furious. I looked at her. I said, he's my son. Nobody's upset. I'm not yelling. He's simply cleaning up his mess as if he was home.
No, that's your business. You told him to do the right thing. If somebody knocks over a display, you're supposed to at least again make the effort and try to do that. Yeah. You were right. Exactly. She was wrong.
And I looked at my son. I was like, thank you for being more mature than that person was.
Yeah, no kidding.
Mike, I hope you followed her home.
Thank you, Mike.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, get your nose out of this guy's business.
Listen, Preston, have you ever I've seen adults knock stuff over and walk away. Not even kids.
Yeah.
The other day, so I'm in Acme, and if anyone Acme has wonderful chocolate chip cookies, and then they have these smaller versions now that are perfect to have with tea. So there's one of those plastic containers, where all four parts of the corners the little dimples have to lock for it to hold. So I'm walking around, and of course I have a little bit too much in my hands, and it falls on the floor. And I'm like, this is how I did it. And you can tell me whether I'm wrong or not. I collected up everything. I put it back into the container. I took the bar code off of it and went up and checked out too, because I dropped one of their things they were attempting to sell and made it unsellable. Mm-hmm. And so that's how I did it. I've seen adults.
They didn't make you pay for it, I'm sure, right?
I paid for it at the self-checkout just for the hell. I felt bad that I ruined a product. I know that might be a bridge too far for some people, but cleaning it up was the thing as well.
Right.
And man, those cookies were rolling all over the place.
Mm. I broke a bottle. I was at a liquor store, and I went back into the cooler because they had beer there too, and I had a bottle of gin, and I dropped. I went outside. Actually, I went outside. I had just bought it, and I dropped it. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me! I broke this full bottle, and I brought it back in. I'm like,
Look what your bottle did.
They said as long as the seal wasn't broken, that I could get a replacement.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
so it was. They.
That's pretty nice.
They have that in place.
Did you pick up the pieces of glass or whatever? Or
I couldn't. I mean, I told them that I made a mess, and of course they were gonna. I can't go picking up glass. I don't have a broom or the dustbin.
What I can do is give you a free commercial on the radio show.
Hang on a second. Let me hold on now. Chris is a flight attendant. Hi.
All right.
Hi, Chris. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good. What's up, Chris?
So I'm a flight attendant, and kids come on all the time and make a mess. So do adults. But I would never.
WMMR.
Thanks, Chris. Oh, I turned my mic off because I was finishing my apple there. I wanted to give a butt plug here real quick. Hang on a second. I apologize. I didn't have this ready, but I wanted to mention this. This was emailed in by Debbie Yakman. And she wanted us to mention the Help Us for the Holidays Phil, the van, and Phil spelled Phil. And you can bring a toy to support Toys for Tots or non-perishable food items to this event, which is going to be coming up in Mansfield, New Jersey, Wednesday. It was yesterday. Never mind.
Is there a website?
Well, we had it on PrestonandSteve.com, and I didn't realize it was one day only. Marissa sent this to me, so I'm sorry, guys.
Well, if I may, Preston, if you're thinking of going, if you can travel towards the sun at light speed, use the gravity to whip around.
There's that.
You could return yesterday.
And you could get the free hot chocolate, hot dogs, cookies, and special giveaways that they had.
And the Fanatic came out,
And
I
the
think.
Fanatic as well. Yeah,
Wow, sounds great yesterday.
Well, I hope it went well. So thank you, Debbie Yakman. And that's my bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Listen, it's been a rough couple of weeks.
It has.
You're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Ooh, I'm on the 207 main catering and events page. Looks like it was a fantastic event. The Grinch was there too. Lots of people, lots of toys, lots of food.
All right, good.
Thank you, Marissa. It makes us feel better.
All right. I do have a shout out, though, and this is from our friend Charles Sassy, who says, I want to give a shout out to Ann Maroney, her husband, Tony, and her sold everything, and they bought a camper to see the country. Unfortunately, she got diagnosed with breast cancer a month or two in, and they had to move back to PA. Ann is a warrior, and I have no doubt that she's going to kick cancer's ass. She's one of the strongest people I know. So a shout out, if you would, please. And then I just got a nice note that I wanted to pass along. This is from Leon Seifert. Leon, yeah. He said, hey, you guys must get lots of calls telling you how fabulous the Preston and Steve show is. So I figured I'd throw another one your way. I grew up in Wilmington, Delaware, went to college in Philadelphia. The Preston and Steve show was wonderful company during my Wilmington to Philly commute for school. Everyone on the show is wonderful. My wife and I moved to Las Vegas in 2016.
Oh, the Windy City.
No, it's not though.
That's the city.
And I was happy to find the Preston and Steve Show podcast. Keep up the great work. It was just a nice note.
That's
I thought that
terrific.
was really sweet. So thank you, guys. We appreciate you checking in like that. And thanks for sticking with us all these years after you have left this area and you continue to love. So thanks so much. All right, Bizarre File. Yep, we're ready to go.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by Philly Sports Trips. Preston and Steve Show's taking over Clearwater Beach for spring training 2026. 6 nights of Phillies baseball, parties, and sunshine. All with PhillySportsTrips.com. You got to lock in your spot today at PhillySportsTrips.com. Well, a hiker, this is a pretty interesting story that you don't hear that often. A hiker in Utah's Arches National Park became trapped Sunday in something most people have only seen in TV or old movies, and that is quicksand.
I love the John Mulrooney bit about quicksand, where he thought it'd be a more prevalent issue in his life.
Yeah.
Because it is. John Mulaney, that's right. Few and far between.
The hiker, who was not injured, was trapped in the substance for several freezing hours, stuck up to his thighs in a canyon area Sunday morning. There was a quicksand case in the same area about 2 miles away in 2014, but Sunday's call around 7:15 a.m. was still a surprise. Grand County Search and Rescue Incident Commander John Marshall said that The page went off, and I kind of shook my head, and I said, did I hear that correctly? Somebody is stuck in quicksand? Rescuers used a ladder and vehicle traction boards to reach the hiker. The boards allowed rescuers to work next to the trapped hiker safely. Quicksand can trap people quickly, Marshall said, but because of the body's natural buoyancy, people rarely sink deeper than their waist. He said it's got a good bite. The more people struggle, the deeper they go. So 1 or 2 footsteps into the sand is really all it needs to initiate that initial stuck factor.
I think we've all had the situation where you're in mud.
Yeah.
I've had a shoe get pulled off.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's this to a further degree. He said it was a frigid morning, around 21 degrees. He said where this person was, there was no sun shining down in this canyon area. And so it was just, I was taken aback by just how cold the ambient temperature was. They had contacted the hiker from a cliff. He was trapped in a wash, which is like a riverbed, but mostly dry channels.
Man, you are dumb.
The man was not a novice hiker, telling rescuers that he had hiked trails in other parts of the country as well as Utah. But he said that he just got into some innocuous-looking wet sand that happened to be quicksand. In 2019, a hiker at a different national park in Utah, Sayin, became trapped in quicksand for a day until he was rescued and eventually airlifted during snowy weather.
I'll tell you where it does become an issue. If you are in, and I told you about this area in Alaska, where the tide goes out, people walk out into the area, they get stuck, and then the water comes in and they drown.
All right, this is wild. What doctors are calling in Los Angeles are calling a medical miracle. A mother gave birth to a baby boy shortly after discovering that she was pregnant while preparing to have a 22-pound ovarian tumor removed.
Wow.
So she didn't know she was pregnant.
Had no idea.
She had this 22-pound tumor in there.
A tumor.
Cedars-Sinai Hospital described the stunning series of events in a news release on Wednesday. Susie Lopez had discovered that she was pregnant earlier this year after taking a required routine pregnancy test before scheduled surgery to remove a 22-pound ovarian cyst. Lopez, who was a nurse, had dealt with the growing cyst for years. Said, I was used to very irregular periods, some abdominal discomfort, and I could not believe, after 17 years of praying and trying for a second child, that I was actually pregnant. Days later, after telling her husband, Andrew, about the news, she experienced abdominal pain and went to Cedars-Sinai, and Dr. John Ozemick said that he and his team began working to care for her. Diagnostic images showed that she was experiencing a rare abdominal ectopic pregnancy.
Wow.
He said they discovered a near full-term baby boy in a small space in the abdomen near the liver with his butt resting on the uterus. A pregnancy this far outside of the uterus, it continues to develop, is almost unheard of.
I think that's where I would sit if I was in a uterus.
The discovery astounded doctors. Said it was profound to see this full-term baby sitting behind a very large ovarian tumor and not in the uterus.
How you doing?
He said when we had to figure out how to deliver the baby with the placenta and its blood vessels attached in the abdomen, remove the very large ovarian mass, and do everything that we could to save the mom and the child.
All right, guys, I'm walking towards what it looks like light. Is that the vagina?
About 30 experts from fields including maternal fetal medicine specialists, gynecological oncologists, nurses, anesthesiologists, and specialists were all in attendance for the surgery.
That's amazing.
With the baby delivered, Lopez began hemorrhaging. They had to use 11 units of blood on her. The baby is now named Ryu Lopez and was 8 pounds and had very few health problems. Ectopic pregnancies are typically not viable and can be threatening for the pregnant mother as well. So she's lucky.
It's miraculous
that she actually lived through this. So that's a really cool story. All right, here's a follow-up for you. A Missouri judge who wore an Elvis Presley wig in his courtroom and played the singer's music from his phone during court proceedings has agreed to a deal that would cut his career on the bench short. Judge Matthew Thornhill in suburban St. Louis faces a 6-month unpaid suspension under the deal that he reached with the state board to avoid disciplinary hearing.
But I will be finishing my career dressed as Tom Jones.
After the suspension, he would serve 18 more months on the bench before resigning from the St. Charles County Circuit Court. The agreement is pending before the Missouri Supreme Court. Thornhill wrote in a letter that he intended to add levity to, at times, what he thought would help relax litigants. But he said, I now recognize that this could affect the integrity and solemnity of the proceedings.
That's right, man.
He said, I can't assure I'll do my very best in the future to serve the people of the state of Missouri with honor and dignity.
Send you to death.
While the Commission on Retirement, Removal, and Discipline also faulted Thornhill for talking about politics from the bench, it highlighted his affinity for the king of rock and roll first. The court file is sprinkled with photos of Thornhill on the bench or posing with staff in a plastic Elvis wig and sunglasses.
All right, here's a general question for you. Do you think judges should be allowed to cosplay?
Wow. During a hearing,
yeah.
I got to say, I'm on the fence, Steve.
Okay,
There are times when it might be fun.
What if you go in and Link is sitting behind the bench?
I'd appreciate that.
There you go, right?
He's a very, his heart is true.
Heart is true.
Yeah.
So you'd have a fair hearing in that court.
All right, and I have another birth story. A driverless Waymo vehicle turned into a temporary birthing center when a woman gave birth to a baby inside the car before she reached a hospital, according to the autonomous vehicle company.
Don't do that in here.
The pregnant woman was apparently in labor and attempting to reach a University of California, San Francisco hospital when the baby arrived. Waymo's remote rider support team detected what they called unusual activity. They initiated a call to check on the rider and contacted 911. The mother and her new baby arrived safely in the Waymo at the hospital.
There's no autonomous birthing equipment aboard?
The newborn is likely the youngest ever person to ride in a driverless vehicle in the Bay Area.
Think about it. Over the years, how many taxi drivers have delivered babies?
Yeah.
All right, it's got to be a lot.
Yeah.
You better get that equipment on board these automated ones.
Most definitely,
right?
man. There are a lot of times where it's too late.
That's it.
You can't. You have to.
Johnny Cab is going to do this.
You got to give birth right here. Waymo immediately removed the vehicle from service for cleaning after that, by the way.
I think so.
And that is what I have in the bizarre file for you for now. All right, let's take a break. We still have more guests coming up. We just had Cara Buono from Stranger Things here in the studio. We are going to have Charlie Cox on. Daredevil! Of Daredevil fame and also the movie Merv. And we'll check in with Mr. Skin, too, amongst other things. We'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Clean up the mess. I mean, we talk about them afterwards and say what slobs they are and love to see what their house looks like. But we never get them on their knees or even ask them to clean it up. We just talk about them afterwards.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so
do you think this flight attendant was out of line to say, and I don't know how they said it. I don't know if they said, "Oh, ma'am, could you please? Your kid made it made a terrible mess here. Can you clean it up?"
Goodness, I would never have even adjusted. I just talk about it and afterwards.
Well, let me ask you, Chris, what is the one thing that passengers can do that are guaranteed to make the flight attendants talk about you? What do flight attendants hate the most?
Oh gosh, taking their shoes off, constantly getting up and down or leaving the overheads open.
Okay.
And leaving a mess. I actually had an adult that went and he came on and he ripped up, he was mad, and he ripped up the entire safety demo card. And I saw him doing something, and I thought he might have been doing that. And I thought, I'll just clean up his mess later. And he was just angry about his seat and everything. And as he was deplaning, he threw it all up as confetti, and it went everywhere.
Oh, my God. What an idiot. Hey.
So it's not just kids.
And he did this just because he wanted to, or he thinks that the safety features are a joke, or we have no idea?
He's annoyed about his seating.
He's annoyed about his seating. Okay.
So you tear up the safety card.
But wait a minute, the shoes thing? Come on, man. I have like little slip-on shoes. In fact, I just took them off. I just took them off right now.
I don't care what people think.
The planes are cleaned, they're not really cleaned well. And when you get to a city and you have a quick turn, you're lucky that we get all the trash out of the seat pockets before we have to board everybody.
Right.
Also, they're adults. They can keep their shoes on, Chris.
Oh, no. No, they're not.
No, I mean, honestly, you, Kathy, Chris, whoever, you guys can think and say whatever the freak you want. I don't care.
As long
My
as
shoes are coming off.
your feet don't smell.
Yeah.
So what?
Do you know, though? Are you nose blind?
I am not nose blind, Kathy.
I'm taking my shoes off. I don't give a crap.
Mine are off right now.
Well, Chris is a professional, says to keep your stinky feet in your shoes.
I'm with you, Chris.
Tough crap.
I don't have
them
stinky
off.
feet.
Yeah.
All right.
Come down with ice on, spray your feet.
Yes, spray your feet with Axe body spray.
You don't even use soap
That
to
would
wash
be
your
worse.
You don't even use soap to wash your feet. Don't say they're clean.
There is soap that travels all down my body that eventually ends up on my feet. My feet are squeaky.
Chris, Preston does it. Kathy says Preston doesn't wash his feet.
He doesn't.
Can you imagine that?
He lets the soap run down his legs.
It just runs down
She
his
knows.
legs.
She knows.
Exactly. I think though they also give you the little slippers so you can put them on, right?
No, I don't want slippers on. I want my
Gives you
socks.
slippers.
Well, you're just in your socks. You're not your bare feet. Then you're fine.
Exactly. Yes. I don't take my socks off. I'm not an animal. Come on, man. Casey, do you take your socks off?
No, and I resent you for saying that, Kat.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Chris.
They should give you slippers, though, right? Like as long as we're tossing stuff out there.
Excuse me. It just took its socks off.
I don't know. Slippers?
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Do
you guys ever wear them?
I did once.
Yeah.
I hated them.
What, on the plane or at home?
No, at home, around the house.
There's slipper season. Hell yeah.
Right now?
We're coming out of.
Yeah, we're coming out of slipper season.
No. We're in flip-flop season now.
I never wear.
Casey, I can't believe he just asked who wears slippers.
I wear slippers.
Casey and I wear the same UGG slippers. If you don't wear slippers, you have to get these and you'll wear slippers.
Okay, I do like slippers.
Yeah.
I will wear
I'll try them
sneakers or whatever my footwear was, unless it's like formal stuff.
Yeah.
I'll switch. You don't know if a deer is going to come jumping through that window.
Right. You
got to be able.
But that's why you keep your slippers by the door.
No, you got to wear them.
Sneakers by the door.
I can go outside with slippers.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
totally.
these are like rugged outdoor, indoor slippers.
They're tactical slippers.
Yeah. These are, those are, I would say, more of the colder weather slippers.
Sure.
I have warm weather slippers as well.
So do cold weather slippers, that coincides with sweatshirt season, right?
I think so.
They're the same, like hoodie season?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yellowstone pajama pants season. Yes.
We're working our way into foot bath season, by
Real
the way.
quick, I just want to ask Casey one question because I think here's where we're going to separate. Do you actually wear those slippers outside?
I do.
Okay, yeah.
Not like
now we're on different pages.
Well, like to take the trash out or something like that.
Take the
If it's
trash
chilly,
out,
you got to run
or-
outside real quick, go get the mail,
Stomp down the mulch.
Or if I'm like I got to go pick somebody up from class, not class, but like practice or something like that.
she
If I'm
just
gonna be
got
in the car.
side-eyed by Kathy on
I'm
that.
like you're
pajama pants to Wawa.
Yeah, but that's what the
Oh,
kids are
dude,
doing.
I want to have I want to get a group of people to go to Wawa in pajama pants because it's very freeing.
Talk
I
is
love
cheap.
it.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Let's do it.
Let's rent a bus of people. We'll get rent a bus. We'll get everyone in their pajama.
Yep.
And socks, no shoes.
I would love to do that. All right, hang on. I want to go to Todd, who worked in a store that kids would frequently mess up. Hey, Todd, good morning.
Good morning. How's everybody doing today?
Good, buddy. What's going on?
So I actually have an interesting story. One of our beloved Philadelphia Flyers, and I'm just going to keep his name private.
Okay.
He came in with his wife and his two little crotch goblins, and the kids were running all over the place. They were throwing pillows all over the floor. They had like cookies or.
This is a mattress store that you work at, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and look, it's expected. I've had it a million times where people come in and they throw pillows around.
Right.
It happens. I get it. But the idea is, like, at the bare minimum, tell your kids, pick the stuff up.
Yeah.
Or make an attempt to just, before you leave, follow them around and pick stuff up.
Sure.
That's all you ask.
When they left like I said, our beloved Philadelphia Flyer, and his wife did nothing to pick anything up. They walked out. Now, they bought a lot. I was happy with them because they bought a lot. I got a good commission from it. But
Were they
still,
French
like,
Canadian by chance?
they were not.
Okay.
That narrows it down.
All right. Well, yeah. So you left. They left, and you had a bad taste in your mouth because it was just disrespectful.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah, I think
it's a courtesy.
you're obliged,
I
even
agree.
if you're a Philadelphia
Thanks,
Flyer.
Tom. Yeah.
Your kids, if your kids go in and do something, you need to correct what they've done. If it's knocking down a display, if it's sullying the reputation of the NHL, it's what you do.
Let me see here. It's Eric that we're going to go to next. Hey, Eric. Morning.
Hey, good morning, it.
Hey, good morning, it buddy. What's happening?
Hey, congrats to Marissa for getting married.
Pass along your love.
So I used to work in customer service, retail. I work in construction now. Shout out to Glazers 252. But I was raging to Nick through the text earlier. This Anthony Bass guy. What gets me the most is the entitlement, like the basic human decency of just pick up after yourself. Teach your child to pick up after yourself. It's your job as a parent. And Nick, you can check the stats on me. He can't even do his own job as a closer in baseball. He can't do his job as a parent. He blew up online. This dude's failing. He's a trifecta of failure.
All right. So if he were an effective closer, he'd get a pass.
And now he's going to, hopefully, if anybody working at United is listening, I hope this person doesn't get fired because of this dude's fucking.
He's fired up, Eric.
Fargan.
Oh my God, I'm so
No,
sorry.
no problem. So, Eric, let me ask you: would it if the flight attendant was rude, would that change your perspective of this?
Okay, so I understand there's probably, three sides to the story. What the flight attendant says, what Anthony Bass says, and then what actually happened. I'm sure what really happened is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
But how he came across in posting, like what he did on Twitter, it just ruined anything that could have gone in his favor. And to top it all off, if you go back and check his Twitter, he posted a picture of his kid holding a bag of popcorn, like, oh, look at my cute little kid, like as a deflection. Like, come on, dude.
Well, no, I agree about the nature, the tone of his original post seemed a little pompous.
Yeah. And by the way, you're right, Eric. His ERA is like 7.36 or something like that. So
it's terrible. And the fact that he doubled down on it, saying, "Oh, I got," they're going to take care of it internally. United, whoever's listening, please don't let somebody lose their job because this guy can't teach his kids how to clean up after themselves.
Okay.
No, I agree.
Thank you,
At least a
Eric.
4-year-old, right? A 2-year-old.
5-year-old can clean up after
5-year-old can clean up after
Yeah, right,
themselves. Yep, most definitely. All right, I want to go to one more call. We're going to take a break here in a moment, but Don wants to comment. Hi, Don. Good morning.
Morning, guys. What's the word?
Yo.
Nope.
No, not going to do it.
Too late.
All right, so you are you're a rideshare driver.
Yeah, I'm an engineer, but in my off time I do ride share. And people get in and they treat these cars like their personal trash pit with their kids.
I'm sure.
They get in, they want to eat food, they want to have chips. And when something happens, they don't say anything, or they're just like, they'll get out of the car. Even the adults do the same thing. And it's just, they don't teach themselves. They're not parents to their kids. They think it's somebody else's problem to clean up.
Yeah, and it's the wrong way. I remember years ago, Preston. You remember the Good Charlotte we had on years ago, and one of the guys, Benji or Joel, or maybe it was their mother who had worked in a hotel and would clean rooms, and
there were some girls who went up and hung out with them in their hotel room, and they were the girls were getting a little bit rowdy and they were making a mess, and one of the guys, Benji or Joel, goes, "Hey, somebody works here, and they have to clean that stuff up,
right?"
And I think they said, "Yeah, our mom was worked as a hotel maid or staff or whatever." And they were like, "Don't do that."
Gives you a different perspective.
Yeah, I was like, I thought it was pretty cool. Of them too.
That's why we eventually married those guys.
Be observant of that. No, they got married to Lionel Richie's daughter. Wait,
Nicole Richie and Cameron Diaz.
So
so I always consider us them.
I know. Me too.
Yeah.
All right, I lied. I have time for one more call.
All right.
I want to go to Kendra. Hi, Kendra. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
Kendra, are you weighing in on this whole mess thing, or what are you calling about?
WMMR.
Thank you, Marissa. My friends, it is time to expand your mind. We're going to teach you a few things this morning from the Just Saying Institute.
I forgot I was supposed to put the blazing saddle thing in there.
What?
The blazing. My mind is a.
No. This is the Just Saying Institute. That's the stream of consciousness.
My bad.
Hang on. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a time to expand our minds with the Just Saying Institute.
Home of the Just Saying Institute, home of the Preston Elliott Stranger Things Boner Suppression Clinic.
We need a clinic for that. All right, so I meant to get to this last week, but I don't think we had time for Just Saying Institute last week. But I saw this very interesting story about the fact that our brain, human beings, the brain goes through 5 distinct phases in life, with key turning points at ages 9, 32, 66, and 83.
They say that between the ages of 40 and 60 is when you're most likely to assume you're doing the stream of consciousness nerve.
Probably. So around 4,000 people up to the age of 90 had scans to reveal the connections between the brain cells. Researchers at the University of Cambridge showed that the brain stays in the adolescent phase until our early 30s when we peak. They say that results could help us understand why the risk of mental health disorders and dementia varies through life.
Do you ever? So I think about my mindset now at my age. There are certain things that just are mandated by life that are quote unquote adulting, but in essence, I often feel like
childlike.
Certainly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have that as well?
Most definitely. Yeah. I think most people don't feel mentally their age.
Right.
They might feel physically their age.
Right.
Which I'm definitely going through right about now. But the brain is constantly changing in response to new knowledge and experience. But research shows that this is not a smooth pattern from birth to death. Instead, there are the 5 brain phases, and I'll break these down a little bit. Okay, so childhood is the first phase. This is and that's from birth to age 9. It's the first period when the brain is rapidly increasing in size, but also thinning out. The overabundance of connections between brain cells called synapses created at the start of life. The brain gets less efficient during this stage.
It gets less efficient while you're a child? I would assume that's the point in time in which you're most able to learn and absorb things.
No, it says it works like a child meandering around a park going wherever takes their fancy, rather than heading straight from A to B. So you just kind of wander around in childhood. All right, then you have adolescence. That's from 9 to 32. That's a long chunk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that changes abruptly from, it says, the age of 9, when the connections in the brain go through a period of ruthless efficiency. It's a huge shift, according to Dr. Mousley, who was on this study, describing the most profound change between brain phases. This is also the time when there's the greatest risk of mental health disorders beginning. So, unsurprisingly, adolescence starts around the onset of puberty, but this is the latest evidence suggesting that it ends much later than we assumed. So it ends at 32.
That's okay. So that's wild. I would think that puberty brings on the seeds of potential future mental illness.
Maybe.
Yeah, you know?
It says
because of the pimples.
It was once thought to be confined to the teenage years, meaning adolescence, before neuroscience suggested that it continued into your 20s and now early 30s. This phase is the brain's only period when its network of neurons gets more efficient. Dr. Mousley said that this backs up many measures of brain function, suggesting it peaks in your early 30s, but added it was very interesting that the brain stays in the same phase between 9 and 32.
It's actually rather interesting when you look at the numbers as they shake out.
All right, so then adulthood is considered 32 to 66.
32 to 66.
It's a period of stability for the brain as it enters the longest era, lasting 3 decades.
I'm aging out of that period now.
Change is slower during this time compared with the fireworks before, but here we see the improvements in brain efficiency flip into reverse. Dr. Mousley said that this aligns with the plateau of intelligence and personality that many of us will have witnessed or experienced.
I think I hit my intelligence plateau at 11.
Well,
I'm concerned.
You're ahead of the game, actually. Are you of intelligence level? All right, then there's the next phase is early aging, and it's from 66 to 83.
All right.
And it's not abrupt and a sudden decline. Instead, there are shifts in the patterns of connections in the brain. Instead of coordinating as one whole brain, the organ becomes increasingly separated into regions that work tightly together, like band members starting their own solo projects.
Part of your brain is Ringo, part is George, part is Paul, and part is, I
would like mine to focus on Paul.
Think! What are you, stupid?
Although
Give him a break.
The study...
I don't know, I'm just playing drums.
Although the study looked at healthy brains, this is also the age at which dementia and high blood pressure, which affects brain health, are starting to show. And then the final phase is late aging. Around 83, we enter that final stage. There's less data than for the other groups, as finding healthy brains to scan was actually more challenging at that age.
No, and I assume, to collect something that's a little bit more comprehensive. Listen, my dad till 94, just on the precipice of 95, was sharp as a tack. And I pray to God, whatever age I hit eventually, that I keep that lucidity, because that's when you're talking quality of life. Obviously, the physical means a lot as well, but being of sound mind Man, I hope that's the case.
The brain changes are similar to early aging, but even more pronounced. Dr. Mousy said that what really surprised her was to show how well the different ages align with a lot of important milestones such as puberty, health concerns later in life, and even the pretty big social shifts in your early 30s, such as parenthood. The study did not look at men and women separately, but there will be questions such as the impact of menopause and stuff like that. But that was a unique look at our brain that I'd never seen before.
And now, especially that massive, 10 to 32 period?
Yeah, 9 to 32, and then and then 32 to 66 is actually the largest. But yeah, those are the way that we break down.
I mean, it's funny because I feel like I didn't really grow up until I was like 30.
So you had kids,
32
right?
years old, yeah. That was kind of it.
How much of the grown-up stuff is, at a certain point, is performative? Like,
some of it.
I'm going to be an adult now.
Absolutely.
Ed, how about that stock portfolio?
Or I can't do that because I'm
Where
this
can I go
age.
to flick boogers?
The men's bathroom down the hallway.
Yeah, it's loaded apparently. Casey showed it to me the other day. But no, it's there was some of that.
Right.
Where you're like, okay, I have to pretend to be this way because I'm an adult. Or I can't do that anymore because I'm an adult.
Exactly. I clearly remember years ago when I was going to college, in case I'd see college-age kids. Maybe you don't see it as much now, but putting on the airs.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're in high school.
Yeah,
last
like a year
Not
ago.
that much has shifted, bro.
Yeah, I remember this guy and we were freshmen. It was Politics 100, right?
Yeah.
So this is our second semester freshman year, and I just remember this kid in my class. He was a nice guy, but what a douche! Like he just, let me think about it. I'm like, dude, you're 18.
Is there a receptacle for my pipe ashes?
Yeah.
Oh, the patch on my left jacket is falling off my elbow patch.
Now he might have looked at me and gone like, dude, grow up, you little kid.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's probably a happy medium between me and that guy.
Right.
But you know what's weird is working with you guys because I'm younger than you guys. Is every single milestone I've ever reached an age where I was like, oh, now I'm like an adult. I always felt like a kid, and even at 50 years old, because I'm younger than you guys, and I think because I met you guys when I was 22 years old, that I'm looked at and treated like I'm still 22 years old sometimes. It's really bizarre.
Yeah, you and Marissa both.
Yeah.
Well, remember, Marissa used to call you Uncle Preston and me on the street. Yeah.
I say sometimes that I had like a DJ Tanner life where I grew up on this show.
Yeah.
Like I was 20 years old, 21 years old, and whatever you guys did in your 20s was on the radio, and then Casey, whatever you did in your 20s was on the radio, and then I was the third person to go through it, so it was all out there.
Yeah.
Now that you look back, all good?
Sure.
Worth the trip?
Sure.
Occasional hiccup here and there?
It's been a blast, and I actually still say this to this day. I think that we all stay young because we get to wear sneakers to work every day.
Yeah.
I know it's just a little tiny detail, but I feel like we don't get dressed up. It's chill. It's relaxed. We make of it what we want it to be, and wearing sneakers or Birkenstocks or whatever it is to work keeps us young.
It certainly helps in the casual vibe, that we can we can dress that way. I think a suit, a daily regimen of suit, would make you feel older.
Well, that would be me pretending to be an adult.
Yeah.
If that were the case, like
look,
you said,
I have a tie.
Yeah.
Guys, look, I'm wearing a tie.
I'd still have to. It still would probably take me 3 or 4 swings at tying that tie every day too.
It's been pointed out to me that my business casual wear is also my funeral wear because it's the only time I get dressed up.
Really?
Yeah. Unless I'm like going out. Like,
Right.
if I'm going to like a black tie event, I can do that. But
Yeah. All right. So anyhow, I thought that was kind of an interesting peek into the human brain. We're gonna go to the ass now.
The ass, you have to.
Yes.
Opposite side.
We go top to bottom.
Yeah.
So you never know what scientists are going to find when they start looking for things. For example, research now
Don't go
suggests
looking around down there.
that hydrogen sulfide, the gas found in flatulence, may help protect the brain from Alzheimer's disease.
Oh.
In simpler language, smelling farts might help protect your brain.
That's complimentary.
A 2021 study from Johns Hopkins Medicine found that in mice, the gas helped prevent the buildup of tangled proteins that block communication between brain cells and cause them to die.
So one is not suggesting that you should surround yourself with gaseous people who fart on you all the time. If you could extract this gas, could you by inhaling it periodically slow an Alzheimer's scenario?
It's early in the research, but they're looking at that very thing.
But at least eat more beans.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to ask this question to the room, although I know Marissa probably doesn't want to answer this. But if you are alone in bed and you fart under the covers,
Ryan, we got to bring you in on this because Marissa probably won't be in on it.
you give yourself a Dutch oven if you know it's a pungent one.
Like a good one?
A good one?
Listen, and I saw this on a greeting card one time, and I wholeheartedly agree. Happiness is the smell of your own farts.
Yeah.
So, yes, Casey, I would.
That was so poetic.
Thank you. It's not mine. I read it.
No, that was Lord Byron.
Ryan, would you do it?
Probably,
And let's be honest here,
nonchalantly, you'd be curious.
Yeah.
All right. You have your pilot's license. Would you ever do it in a cockpit?
Oh, there's no getting around it. And those small single engine air, it's like flying a VW Bug.
Yeah.
There's no choice.
Yeah. I don't say that I will Dutch oven myself.
Yeah.
There's.
Well, you waft.
We've been talking recently about you get the gassiness, the buildup in your body, and it's almost like tapping off that potential agita. When you get gassy inside, when you are able to expel, it's like
Yeah, but you're wafting it, Preston. You're like,
there's a little bit of oregano,
especially when there's a little sting to it. You're like, ooh, that was a good
that's
one.
like the police.
Yeah.
Because I did have a follow-up to that question, and you guys don't know the answer to this, but do you think that, we do that because there's something in us that we are unaware of that thinks that there is a medicinal aspect to it?
I don't think that. I think that subconsciously we might be checking our health to some extent.
I think so. That's why I taste my own poop periodically.
Wow.
There's something wrong here.
No, I honestly think that smelling that gives you a peek into whether or not you're doing okay.
I would bet you that, and Dr. Mike could certainly dissect this, but I think there are a trained nose could discern something that might suggest a medical condition through a fart.
Right.
I don't know any doctor that actively wants to do that. But the same way, I think of it in the way that they have the kitty litter boxes now that can immediately take a urine sample from a cat.
Right.
And or the toilets that you were talking about that will take a picture of fecal matter and assess what's going on.
Okay, here's...
All right.
I don't know why I've never thought about this. This is disgusting.
All right.
But it has to do with smelling farts. I don't think ever in my life I've ever smelled another human being's gas and gone, ooh.
No.
That's a good one.
No.
I can,
but for your
I
own.
can absolutely say.
Right?
I have never liked the smell. Never.
Yeah. But your own?
Oh my God. I've never disliked my the worse the
I've never
better.
thought about that. Yeah,
No.
the worse the better.
So, if you're shaking your head as you're listening to this, and the truth of the matter is, think about it. Have you ever disliked the smell of your own gas?
Yeah, like I can't even be with myself.
No, I'm sorry. I always love it.
I'm
And I always
disgusting.
wish I could turn it into a cologne.
Yeah. So the researchers gave the mice a compound that slowly released hydrogen sulfide, and the animals showed a 50% improvement in memory and
Dude, are you farting your brains out?
and motor function.
The hell did they give us?
Scientists say the findings open doors for new treatments, but
mouse farts have to be adorable.
The research has only been done in animals so far. For now, the idea that smelling farts could ward off dementia is more of a quirky takeaway than proven medical advice, but the jury's still out. But listen, they'll research it.
Somebody wanted to get in the medical journal, so they came up with the medicinal.
No, if they can, it'd be groundbreaking.
So what's Chris Hemsworth has found out genetically that he's predisposed to.
He's got the markers for potentially dementia. Yeah.
And he's taking all these medical steps to slow the process. And I wonder, listen, it's serious if you're looking at this and you want to do everything you can to allay that.
Well, I know somebody who they don't necessarily know if they have markers, but family history.
Right.
So they retired early, right? And they were like, listen, I think I think they're doing fine on the financial front, but it was like, okay, if this is going to be in my future, I'm getting out now, and I'm just going and
experience life,
and this dude has been traveling like crazy.
Yeah, I think for me, what is critical is remaining engaged. I think, honestly, medicinally on a basic level, this show every morning is medicinal for me as well. I think the fact that you are thinking, all my comedy for a good portion of my stand-up, a lot of my stuff was improvisational, even when I was doing stand-up and not doing just straight improv stuff.
Right.
I love that engaged in the moment coming up with stuff. And I think I've seen people who've retired who disconnect from interaction, and they have this precipitous downfall if they're predisposed to it.
But this guy's got a mission. He's going to tour the world. Get out there and do it.
Yeah,
so I think it's a brilliant idea.
Very, very engaged and all that. And listen, I don't disagree with what you're saying either,
Yeah.
And I even said, I remember when Bob Barker retired, I was like, he's going to be dead in a year,
Yeah, he went a little further.
Yeah, he did.
He was in his 90s when he retired.
And no, I was wrong, but he might have stayed engaged.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Just not on TV.
All right, let's see. This was an interesting story. Steve sent me this. There's something called the Sonora Beanie. It's a device, and it's got a local connection here. It's a device that aims to connect NICU babies with their parents and block out harmful noises in the hospital environment. It was invented by 5 undergraduates at University of Pennsylvania. It is designed to mimic the womb by filtering out high-frequency sounds like alarms, which frequently plague the NICU, while allowing human voices at low frequencies to be heard. The device can also deliver audio messages recorded by parents for their babies. According to Sophie Ishawari, she said, it's as if they were laying on your chest, as if they were in the womb. She's one of the founders of this. So when babies are in the NICU, a lot of times they can't.
Right.
You can't be held for any length of time, and there's all these beeps and sounds and, and respirators making noise and stuff like that. So they created this thing. Because it was shown ages ago that infants must have human interaction. They must have human connection or they will die. And so this is another thing that can, create that connection. Their idea won Penn's 2023 President's Innovation Prize, which provided a $100,000 cash award and living stipends for the team to pursue their commercial project after graduation. 3 of the original members went on to medical school, leaving 2, Gabby Daltoso and Ishawari, to continue working on the product full time. And in the 2 years since graduating, they've tested the device in the lab. They pitched it to hospitals around the country. They've earned accolades along the way, and now they're putting the beanie on infants in the hospital for the first time.
And this is what the baby hears, Preston.
Well, yeah. I know it's hard to believe, but that's a human being.
That's a human being. It's somebody. Yeah. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger. You feel protected.
Yeah.
Over the next several months, Ishawari and Daltozo will be testing the beanie on 30 infants at Hupp's Intensive Care Nursery, and they'll be looking to see whether the beanie can reduce stress based on changes in heart rate, respiratory rate, and oxygen saturation.
Do you know what I've found interesting is that these things come sometimes glacially, but for like children, I've seen more parents, like at the Camp Out for Hunger. We had live bands, we had stuff going on, and people were bringing their babies. But virtually every baby I saw had some sort of headphones or something to protect from the noise.
Yep.
And it's I don't remember ever seeing stuff like that years ago.
No, it's definitely a good thing.
And they're getting a little thinner now too. Not
Right.
like the big construction zone ones that some kids don't like to wear.
Right.
They're innovating them.
They got Mickey Mouse on.
Yeah, it's Steve. You know what? The first person I remember seeing with those headphones on, like concert, was Apple. Chris Martin and Gwyneth Paltrow's daughter. I remember seeing a picture of Apple at a Coldplay concert.
That's my daughter Apple wearing those cool headphones.
And they serve a purpose. I mean, listen, they're adults need to wear ear protection at some of the shows. You know, you have
yes.
A baby.
Yeah.
A baby?
I think it's cool. All right, so that's local on. Congratulations to those guys, by the way. All right, so here is a research story about a psychiatrist that has worked on a new designation called Autroverts.
Autroverts.
Yeah, Dr. Rami Kaminsky, a psychiatrist, has explained that the term describes a person who feels no sense of belonging to any group. So not an introvert, not an extrovert, but an autrovert.
No sense of belonging whatsoever. Completely a loner.
To some extent. So he coined the phrase introvert after recognizing the personality type in both himself and some of his patients, as well as historical figures such as Frida Kahlo, Franz Kafka, and Albert Einstein and Virginia Woolf,
and Frank
who he
Stallone.
says were famously untethered to any group. Frank Stallone, no, he's actually
he's really a nice guy.
But what actually makes someone an introvert is essentially it's something of a mixture of both of being introverted and extroverted. So although introverts can interact with large groups, they don't necessarily feel as though they have found their tribe. Introverts are very friendly. They're able to forge deep connections with other people. The only social difference happens in the lack of connection to groups, collective identity, or shared traditions.
So I consider myself, I love people. I love to be with people. I don't necessarily need to feel part of a tribe. I don't have, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You might be an introvert.
I could be an introvert.
Yeah, possibly.
Does that coincide with whether you're an innie or an outie?
Maybe. Okay. I don't know if they've done that research. Which are you?
I'm in.
I'm an innie.
Yeah.
We're all innies, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody talk about that.
What about your anus?
Hang on a
Outie
second.
or innie?
Ryan, are you an outie or an innie?
Oh, no, just I think we are all innies. Everybody, yep, all innies.
What about your butthole, outie or innie?
That's, give me 2 seconds.
Okay, thank you. Get back to us on that. You don't look back there, so.
Outie.
So it's essentially something, like I said, a mixture of the two. And according to Dr. Kaminsky, these kinds of people prefer to go against the grain and don't tend to think in the same fashion as the large majority of society does. He noticed that these qualities in himself. He noticed these qualities in himself when he was just a child and had joined the Scouts. As it was his turn to recite the pledge, his peers excitedly did, but he, quote, felt nothing about it. The psychiatrist, who has more than 40 years' experience, realized that he didn't feel the same sense of connection and community that other kids did. And he explained this is a classic introvert trait in his book, as people with this personality type often struggle to find passion for team activities, whether that be sports, work, or even living alongside others.
And these are my findings. I hope you enjoyed it, you dickheads.
Yep. He also firmly believes that these people are immune to what they call the Bluetooth phenomenon, which refers to people emotionally pairing with those around them.
You do like to feel part of a, like when I went to Monster Mania Con, I'm surrounded by horror fans. That it's great to have those moments.
Yeah.
There's some people who are very tribal. This is my group, and I associate, and I'm lockstep. I've never been that way.
Yeah. I have. I had groups that I was with for sure, and I kind of long for that now. Actually, I have my close friends.
Yeah,
but not all of those close friends
connection.
Are part of a what Stephen King would call a quartet.
Right.
Okay. So
I think I might lean more towards this introvert thing. When you're talking about like more organized groups, right? And you and Chuck and I were having a conversation off air a couple of days ago, and talked about like being this kid in this Catholic school, and you would have to say these prayers and stuff like that together. Like I didn't feel
part of that group,
but I would say these things. I would do it.
Yeah. Did you feel like you were on the outside looking in? Did that make you feel bad, or was that just
Not
the way
bad.
you were? Yeah.
No. It's just listen. I always wish that I had like a faith as strong as a lot of the people around me,
right?
Like my brother, my mother, my father, like all those people. And then there are these other groups that I'm a part of that I like being there, right? But when it gets to that group collective dynamic where you recite things, I try really, really hard to mean what I'm saying, tap into it, but there is a disconnect.
Well, there is the act as if ye had faith and ye shall be given it, right? That's right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the idea for a lot of people. That, but I can see that. So that you consider yourself, would you consider yourself an introvert?
This is the first I'm hearing of it, but that last paragraph that he read, I was like, sounds a lot like
Listen,
me.
we're learning stuff.
Yeah.
It says introverts. He says introverts discover very early in life that they feel like outsiders in any group, and this is despite the fact that they are often popular and welcome into the groups.
Well, that's you.
Yeah. I mean, listen, even my childhood group of friends that, we get together from time to time, when we do, like my buddy Reg just had a party on Saturday. I wasn't able to make it, but like, even if I went to that party, I kind of would have felt like, hey guys, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still their friend. We've been friends since kindergarten.
Right.
But
you
think
still feel a little bit on the outside?
I definitely feel
There
like
you
a
go.
little bit on the outside.
I can commiserate with that.
Yeah.
I love the people I'm with, even big family gatherings. I love them dearly, but I always feel I'm a little one step removed.
Okay.
But I do have close, like, personal relationship with people. Like I'm close with you guys, right? Like I'm close with Chuck. I got my oldest friend Mike, my best friend Jeff. Like but they're not a group.
Yeah.
So I have.
And I agree.
Yeah.
I kind of feel the same way.
Well, I'll read just a little bit more to this. The
Yeah.
discrepancy may cause emotional discomfort and a sense of being misunderstood. As a result, introverts might find it difficult to cope with the pressure of fitting in with the world around them. Although it sounds like a difficult cross to bear, being an introvert doesn't mean that you're doomed to being a societal misfit who feels like a square peg in a round hole. In fact, in terms of relationships, it can allow for a stronger, more meaningful bond to be built with those that introverts are close to. And in fact, it says, take a party, for example. An introvert would much prefer having a deep chat with one person in a quiet corner rather than being a social butterfly who floats around from guest to guest.
That's kind of me. Or at least, one or two. I mean, I'll work the room. If I'm throwing the party, I'll work the room, but I like to see other people having a good time. That's very important, but I don't necessarily have to be the one engaging.
All right, so if I were to go to a party, we had hosted a party maybe about a year and a half ago or whatever, and it was a game night party.
Yeah.
That to me was my kind of party. It gave me something to do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I didn't have to worry about weird, and I don't want to say weird, awkward, because the awkwardness comes from me. It doesn't come from the other person. Like, what do we talk about?
Right.
How do I not sound like a moron?
Let me ask you this. Have you ever had a jerk mate?
I've heard of jerk mates.
Yo, ever heard of jerkmate?
To me, that's a commitment.
But like when we go and like Mercy's got the Bud Light Thursday night kickoff tonight, right? If I go to a bar event and it's just like, hey, come out and say hi to Casey boy, I feel awkward, right?
Yeah.
But something like this where you're hosting and I have an activity to do like every 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, yeah, that's, somebody asked me how to get, I was like, it was great. Well, I had something to do, you
want to bring a little excitement. You want to deliver for the people.
Right.
Coming, like Marissa's terrific when you go out and run these. You are as well.
Yeah.
I think we all excel at.
I think
at
it's more that you have something, a task of sorts to do.
But there is that like crossing the line into like talking to people. Because sometimes you kind of stand there for a moment, nobody comes up, and you have to like walk around and find people to chat with, and all of these people
You guys playing cards?
to chat. Seriously. I mean, like I'll be at a restaurant tonight and I'm going up to people, like I may go up right as their food is there and they're like going to eat and you're just kind of like, hey, do you want to win Eagles tickets? And then they'll start talking about the show and we'll talk about all this great stuff. But there's sometimes you walk up and they're like, I'm good, thanks.
Right,
and you're like, all right.
All right. Well, this revelation for some people, getting a lot of texts coming in saying that they feel that they are introverts as well. All right, I want to try to get to two more. I know time-wise we got to keep an eye on this, but I have two other really good ones. Raccoons may be inching closer to becoming America's next pet. Affectionately referred to as trash pandas, the masked mammals known for rummaging in bins for easy food are evolving based on their proximity to humans, even starting to look cuter, a new study says.
It's actually funny. We were very primitive in years gone by, but right now I feel that we are on a par with humans and we're enjoying the interaction very much.
Evaluation of nearly 20,000 photos found a clear reduction in snout length.
Snout length?
Yeah, in urban raccoons compared to their rural cousins. A physical shift consistent with the early stages of domestication seen in cats and dogs.
So you're saying there are redneck raccoons?
Well, I'm saying that they are evolving, dude.
Listen, I've always loved raccoons. I think they're adorable. I love them. I've seen they can also be a nightmare.
Yeah.
And they can also be, they quite often they will succumb to rabies and so on and so forth. And they can also attack other animals. But in the when I've seen them domesticated, for better or for worse, they're freaking adorable.
Yeah. So if
they got little hands
for the domesticated raccoon, like where are they potty trained? Can they go in a litter box, or do they go outside?
I don't know any of that. I just know that this evolution change is happening. They are widespread across the contiguous U.S. Their ability to thrive in both wild and urban settings has left them occupying an unusual space in American life. Beloved pet in some neighborhoods and persistent pest in others. The proximity to humans could signal the creatures are growing more comfortable around us, or scientifically speaking, they are dampening their innate flight responses, according to the study that was published in the journal Frontiers in Zoology.
There's footage of this guy who has built up this relationship with raccoons in his area. He goes out to the deck. Have you seen a case?
No.
He'll sit down on a chair. He has his raccoon food, and they all come around. And I mean, he's petting them, and he's just in his glory.
So listen to this. The softening of their features, like I said, the facial features could be due to shifts in their fight or flight response on the cellular level. I mean, this is
the body adapts.
This is evolution taking place. I mean, like they're witnessing this. The urban domestication starts with trash. According to the co-author, Raphael Alesh, she said trash is really the Kickstarter. Wherever humans go, there's trash, and animals love our trash. But to take advantage of this endless buffet, wildlife must strike a delicate balance, bold enough to root through the bins and navigate human environments, yet not so bold to pose a threat.
Your name is Preston, right?
It is,
Preston,
yes.
I have to tell you, I've been rating your garbage for a while. Mwah, chef's kiss. Really good stuff. Thank you so much.
The authors said the findings are consistent with the domestication syndrome phenotype. Domestication syndrome, which is anatomical and morphological changes such as curly tails, floppy ears, depigmentation, smaller brains, and reduced facial skeletons, are commonly cited as some of the most salient traits.
Anatomical?
And those traits are also seen among more common...
Morphological? I'm getting a raccoon!
They're seen among more common household pets such as dogs that evolved from wolves.
Yes.
So that's what
I've wanted a wolf too.
That's what they're comparing it to. I thought that was pretty mind-blowing.
Would you have a raccoon as a pet?
Yeah, if they're domesticatable, if you can actually have them and know that their feral natures are gone, they're awesome. I love raccoons. They're adorable.
They're cute.
Probably not be allowed.
Oh.
Sorry?
They probably wouldn't be allowed.
Oh, man.
You don't think Diane would let you have a raccoon?
Probably not.
You killed it.
All right.
I petted too hard, Diane. I told you.
One more story. And then we're done. I know we got to wrap this up. All right. And I wanted to fit this one in because just because your demise is inevitable doesn't mean that you can't enjoy a show while you usher in the end of your life. Psychedelic therapy is now being praised as a surprising treatment for those diagnosed with terminal illness. For many, it isn't physical pain that ends up being the hardest part of dealing with the inevitable. It's the fear, the stress, and the anxiety. And beyond the traditional methods of treatment, such as antidepressants, mindfulness, and counseling, there are those who are now open to the potential of psychedelics in combination with therapy.
It's interesting that you bring this up because I read this article from I forget what the technical term for it is, but it's a nurse who helps usher someone into the afterlife. Like they're at the last stages. And
call them like death doulas, maybe?
Something like that. But the article was basically, Casey was saying that she was saying, coming from a place of don't be afraid of death. Like your body has natural things that kick in. Hormones are released that allow the transition to occur more effortlessly. Like your body knows how to help it be less stark to you.
Right.
And she listed a whole bunch of things, and she's seen it happen time and time again. And it was actually kind of a beautiful thing.
I could see that maybe in some scenarios.
She said sometimes she had to beat him with a shovel.
Listen, some people go out screaming, dude.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so I don't know. Yeah.
Like that guy.
The use of psilocybin when combined with psychotherapy has been shown in studies to reduce depression and anxiety in those
Seahorses forever.
You just think about seahorses all the time.
That's it, man.
I mean, forever.
And then you just slip.
Yeah.
Seahorses forever.
If you were at a certain point where you were, you're right at the end and you're dealing with, if they could say, okay, we're gonna put you in an LSD trippy Carlos Castaneda kind of realm, and you'll pass from there.
I don't know. Having never tripped before,
Yeah.
I do not know if I would enjoy that experience or not. But I like the sound of it.
Yeah,
maybe so. I don't know. So apparently it's been shown, like I said, in studies to reduce depression, anxiety, and those with life-threatening cancer. And many patients have seen improved mood, emotional clarity, and a reduced fear of death.
It's like those pods the death pods like they have in Switzerland where you get in and they... Do you ever see the movie Soylent Green with Charlton Heston?
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, so you would go to this clinic when you were passing and they'd play with their version of like a sensory...
Yeah.
They
try to make it ethereal and comfortable. And then
they turn you into a cracker.
Right. Exactly. So anyhow, it's something that they are that they're testing out, and you never know. Might be something that's helpful. We'll find out. It's all we have time for. But thank you for joining us here on the campus of the Just Sayin Institute.
Gorgeous.
We do have to take a break and come back. We have a professor of another type who's going to be joining us.
That's right.
And that's Mr. Skin when we get back. And we also have an announcement to make concerning a show of life for Pierre Robert next week. We'll get to those details. Oh, and also Charlie Cox of Daredevil fame will be joining us. We'll be back in a second, so stay with us. It's our concert cash winner, Kendra. And Kendra, you also get tickets to the barbecue as well. How's about that?
That is so great.
Yeah, congratulations.
$1,000 going to buy a lot of popcorn.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And my birthday's Friday, so I can buy myself a nice present.
Oh, that's awesome.
birthday.
Huge. We are so happy. Where are you from, Kendra?
I'm from Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
All right. Thank you, Jersey girl. We appreciate you listening and especially calling in and winning. And we will see you at the barbecue, and we'll give you $1,000 for listening to MMR. All right, Kendra?
All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Happy birthday.
Let's hear it for Kendra. All right. Next chance coming up about 1 hour from now exactly, because it is 9 o'clock. So hang in there. All right, Casey wants me. We're going to, do it when we return.
Yes, sir.
We have a concert announcement when we return. So we'll take a quick break. I know it's a lot to take in. We'll come back in just a moment, and we'll get to all that. Stay with us. And Sarah Silverman is going to be joining us as well. Stay put.
Preston and Steve. On 93.3 WMMR.
Thank you very much, Kathy. As we have stated a couple times, today is April 20th, which is 420. And that is, of course, the international celebration. I assume it's international. I know it's definitely national. Of marijuana and all things pot.
As you're saying all this, I realize, what is the derivation of Ford?
I'm glad you asked that, sir. Because I've got the history of it.
Right.
And I know we've mentioned it before, but it's easy to kind of forget because it's this weird little thing that happened. The most credible story traces to Marin County, California in 1971.
That's it.
There were 5 students at San Rafael High School, and they would meet at 4:20 in the afternoon by the campus statue of Louis Pasteur.
Right.
And they would get high. And they chose that specific time because extracurricular activities had usually ended by then. And the group of guys, Steve Capper, Dave Reddix, Jeffrey Knoll, and Larry Schwartz, and also Mark Gravich, became known as the Waldos because they met at a wall. There was a wall there, and they called them the Waldos.
As simple as that.
So they would say 420 to each other just as a code.
Yeah.
So, if they were in the hallways at school, they'd say, 420, and it was just for them to know. Now, the interesting thing is how it got out into...
national.
Yeah. And to become part of pop culture. So,
and I want to find out if it has extended to other countries as well.
That is a good question. Yeah. I'll bet you it has. So Reddix, one of the guys, told Time Magazine in 2017, he said, we got tired of the Friday night football scene with all the jocks. We were the guys sitting under the stand smoking a doobie, wondering what we're doing there. And it continued long after 4:20 p.m. as well. The group challenged each other to find ever more interesting things to do under the influence, calling their adventures safaris.
Safari.
Yeah. Sick. Go safari.
Doobies.
So here's where it started to catch on. So later on, Reddix's brother helped him get work with the Grateful Dead bassist Phil Lesh.
Oh, boy.
As a roadie.
That's like the dream job if you're a pothead.
So the band is said to have helped popularize the term 420. And on December 28th, 1990, a group of deadheads in Oakland handed out flyers that invited people to smoke, quote unquote, 420 on April 20th at 4:20 p.m. And one ended up with this guy named Steve Bloom. And Steve was a former reporter for High Times magazine.
Is that even around anymore?
Yeah, I believe it is.
I would
Steve.
imagine, God, if it had gone away before all of this, it'd be a crime.
So the magazine printed the flyer in 1991 and continued to reference the number, and soon it became known worldwide, it says here, Steve, worldwide as code for marijuana.
You know what High Times should have done? And if they haven't done it yet, maybe they can, because it's such a good idea, Steve. One of their pages should be smokable.
I think I know the case. I think years ago when it was really a controversial magazine and be on the shelf, didn't they include what they call a roach clip in one of their issues?
No, but like it's a
they
paper,
did something like that.
Yeah, it's a paper magazine, like maybe page 4 or page 20.
Right.
You know,
and it's smokable.
Rolling papers or actual marijuana?
No. Like,
but something
like
you
a
can
rolling
roll
paper,
up
like
in.
a blunt wrap, or something that you could roll it into.
I get
and
Acid
smoke that,
magazine and their tabs of acid on it. No, it's. I remember how controversial that. Look, I don't smoke. I don't use the product myself. Yeah, but again, it's another one of these situations where I'm fascinated by it.
Yeah.
I was fascinated by what's the big in Amsterdam. They have the
cannabis cup.
Cannabis cup. There's a documentary about it that is amazing.
I mean, I don't smoke anymore either, but like I did, and it was like sort of ritualistic. I will tell you that like once I started it like kind of like took over. It was like everything to me, and
I have a history with 15. So I said, I grew up. My sister, my uncles, they were all weed smokers. It was around me even before I was a teenager, and I was kind of used to it. But I started around that time, and I have never quit, and I enjoy it. Now I am not the level of some weed smokers.
You're not Doug Benson.
There are people who just smoke it all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm an everyday user, but I am not, and I have my medical marijuana card, but I'm not a, just get baked out of my gourd person.
Preston, the agent who used to book me into colleges and book me around in my early days of stand-up comedy smoked pot the way most people smoke cigarettes,
right?
Like heavy cigarettes. So he was constantly smoking pot. And I'd have to say to him, is there any effect at this point? And he would say, not really. I mean, that's how much he smoked.
Yeah.
I remember maybe it was a decade ago, 12 years ago, we would occasionally have people from Normal on our show talking about making it legal and recognizing it. Essentially, for the most part, those guys have won. I mean, I really find it to be fairly it's not really an issue anymore. If you don't want to smoke, you don't have to. If you do, you have options to do so in most states. And I like that. To me, it's one of those things where like it was being done so much anyway. If you want to smoke legally now, most of the places you can. Even Utah, for crying out loud, there are legal shops.
Do you know what's happening now, though? And I just read an article out of California where the image of I'm a local grower and I'm doing my own. Those businesses are getting swallowed up by corporate.
Sure.
Yeah, the same thing's happening with that industry as well.
It's funny though. I mean, because I don't want to be like super prudy and stuff like that, but I do feel like there's a time and place, and like I don't feel like I should be walking through a cloud of pot smoke as I'm walking into the fashion district of Philadelphia, or walking through a cloud of pot smoke as I'm walking down the boardwalk in Wildwood, and it happens. But at the same time, the pot in New Jersey is just as legal as people drinking their White Claws on the beach, and I have no problems with that. But I think the difference is like I'm not smelling your
not wafting over.
You don't get a contact buzz from somebody drinking a beer.
Yeah.
And you may not necessarily from smoking weed, but if you're someone who's in recovery and you go by and you smell that, you have inhaled a little bit. You know what I mean? And I can see that be concerning, especially for people who've gone through
What about
recovery.
cigarettes, though, man? You've defended people smoking cigarettes out in front of a building in the past.
Yeah, I know, but I love the smell of cigarettes. No.
Everyone picks their poison.
No, in fact, I haven't. Not out in front of the building. Like, I think, like here at this building or like at a mall or something like that, you need to give them cover, right? Like, when it's raining out, it's not like, oh, tough crap, you stinky, filthy smokers. Like, go smoke in the rain.
Stinky people.
Yeah.
So you're talking about make some sort of area where they can congregate.
But not for the pot smokers?
Right outside the entrance?
Well, but you're the one that said it, not me.
Yeah, I'm right out. Okay, first of all, it's not legal in Pennsylvania recreationally, right? Like
in Philadelphia, it is.
Recreationally?
Smoking legally is recreational in Philadelphia. Pennsylvania is odd because it's by municipality in most areas. Smoking weed, as far as I understand it, is allowed in Philadelphia in public.
I don't know.
Let's check that.
It's the public thing that I'm curious about, Nick. I think that you can have small amounts and it's okay, but consumption, there are regulations on when and where you can do that.
Can you be the mayor giving a speech smoking a blunt?
You're the mayor, man. Go for it.
Yeah.
So let me see here. Whether people buy marijuana legally in New Jersey or illegally in the underground market, it's a crime for them to possess, consume, grow, or sell marijuana in Pennsylvania.
Except in certain instances.
Okay. All right. Well, we can.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's odd. And that's part of the reason why it's still so strange is that there are, it varies from state to state. And not only does it vary from state to state in Pennsylvania, it varies from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh.
And federally, you can still get in trouble for it, even though it's legal.
Oh, they got to shake all this stuff out. What kills me, Preston, is about this the creation of 420 as a thing. There's a good organization attached to a commercial that we run on air that mentions DBH. Do bong hits is what I hear.
Of course.
And that this thing would take off and become the thing from a school playground with DBH was your school thing.
Yep, that was our thing.
Yeah.
And our DBH, we had it written all over our notebooks and stuff,
Our thing in college was, Hendrix, right? So we would be at a party or whatever, like, okay, we're going to be at Hendrix at like midnight. All right, meet me at Hendrix. But Hendrix was a gravestone. It was somebody's name. And there was a graveyard next to our fraternity house, and all the way back in the far back of the cemetery.
That's where you guys would congregate?
Right next to this big tree. It was the biggest, and the last name on the headstone was Hendrix. And it was, so when you're talking about DBH and 420, like
these things become lore.
They're these cool little ritualistic things that and it's code, right? Like not everybody knew what Hendrix was, and you could say that, and people knew what you were talking about.
Right.
I think line one might be able to help us.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I have Mike on the phone, who is a police officer in Philadelphia. Hey, Mike, good morning.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Good. Well, we're a little confused, Mike. That's clear.
But that's par for the course.
Maybe you can help us out here. What's the story with marijuana, smoking it, possessing it in Philadelphia?
So it is recreational use. You can walk down the street and smoke it. It is basically when I'm working in the city and we're driving by and you smell it, it's like, oh, well, that's just the new smell of Philly. So instead of, you get down to the subway when we're working down there and you're like, oh, that's the smell of Philly. But up on the street, it's just the smell of weed everywhere.
Yeah. So I didn't realize that you could smoke it outside. And that is Nick correct in that it's only.
Here's the thing. I'm partially correct. And maybe, Mike, you can expand a little bit upon this. It's decriminalized. However, it's not legal. But I don't know what the difference between decriminalization and legality is.
I mean, realistically, there is no. I'm sure there is a nuance, and if you're caught with it with like a certain amount and it's all baggied up, then it could be then it's criminalized. However, it's gotten to the point now where it's so prevalent out there that there's no point in doing anything about it because of how willing people are to just say, oh, okay, yeah, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, and it's so low level that it's hardly worth the waste of time.
Exactly. Somebody. So the biggest things you get is still federally. It's not, and I'm a federal law enforcement. So even for us though, we're not touching it because there's no. Nobody's going to touch for a couple joints or a couple, whatever. Yeah. Nobody's going to even mess with it. But if you're flying out of the airport and you have it in your bag, like your carry-on bag, and they do the search.
And it's $9.99, so you can watch it on the fancy thinking box at home or on the go. So I think that is fantastic news. for this. So once again, we have the details at WMMR.com. And click events, and you can find the purchase link right there. It's veeps.events/a show of life. But an easier way to do it is to go to WMMR.com and click on events, and you can purchase the link. It's only $9.99, and you'll be able to see.
Excellent.
What hopefully is turning out to be a beautiful night and celebrating our dear departed friend, Pierre Robert. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that. So that's great news. I was very happy to pass that along to you. We have a guest who's standing by, but we got to get a look at traffic first. We'll do that now. Marissa, what's going on, please?
Chestnut Street between 34th and 33rd is closed due to construction. We have an accident on 295 in Trenton. It's northbound right at exit 63. The left shoulder is blocked. We're jammed back to Arena Drive. Over on the Schuylkill Expressway, we're slowing from the Boulevard out to Vine, Vare out to South Street, and the Boulevard out to Gladwin. 95 at northbound Allegheny Avenue to the Betsy Ross Bridge. We see some slowing, as well as on Route 1 between Brunswick Pike and Baker's Basin Road. This traffic report is brought to you by SuperSure. Do you own a small business? You need to hear this. A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get SuperSure. Not kind of sure, not pretty sure, but SuperSure coming soon. And that's your traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
All right, thank you very much, Marissa. Our next guest has forgotten more about cinematic nudity than all of us combined will ever know.
Oh, that's a factual statement.
It is true. And we've been talking to him for a good 28 plus years probably at this point. So it's back. The conversation with our friend, Mr. Skin. Yeah. And we welcome Mr. Skin. How you doing, Mr. Skin?
Wait.
Oh, it's
really appreciate it.
There we go. At what point will it be Professor or Dr. Skin? Because, you've surpassed that a long time ago.
Yeah, I've never gone for a higher degree than just Mr., but people have asked me that. I think I'm getting too old to go back to school and improve on that, but Mr. Skin is how it's probably going to remain.
I think you are obviously at an authoritative level. You had that wonderful movie about the history of nudity, the documentary, which is, I say, is terrific, from the Hayes Commission and all that stuff. Have you ever been asked to give a talk at a school or a media center or anything, or is the notion just aberrant to most schools?
Yeah, a skin-certation somewhere. I'm sure I could. I did give I guess my biggest moment is I did a keynote speech at AVN a few years back.
There you go. That's like
you understand, colleges are not
just not about that
for many reasons. But but the keynote speech at AVN was actually really cool because it was more about the history of how I started this, and we had obviously visual accompaniment, and people really dug it. And I had never done anything like that, and I worked really hard on putting it together, and it was a lot of fun. But I can't see myself at Columbia talking about the history of nudity like my documentary.
Yeah,
so.
I think that time has passed. But this is the time of year now where your lists start to roll out.
Yeah,
and we're looking at
we got the top 10.
Top 10 now. So
the top 10 nude scenes, right?
Yeah,
right. We go way back. And do you guys remember, so when I started Mr. Skin in 1999, there was Sex and the City.
Yeah.
The Sopranos were just about to start. There were a handful of television shows, right?
Yeah.
That had nudity. A handful, literally. Most of the nudity that I discussed was for movies.
Yes.
Now it's there's so many platforms. Everybody has original programming. All the original programming has some nudity, right? And there's just so much more. When I put a top 10 nude scenes of the year together today, there's just so much more to choose from. There were 435 female TV nude scenes in America this year. There were 318 movie nude scenes. And remember, Sex and the City and Sopranos, there were a handful. 435 just from television, from American TV. I'm not even counting all those Brazilian shows and Spanish shows that are you could see on Netflix and different platforms.
It's crazy. And by the way, people who might be crying foul, there's a male site as well, if that's what whatever you say.
Yeah. Oh, we have Mr.
It's a full menu thing. I would have to imagine, and tell me if this is the case, the initial joy and fun of it, because there's such a glut, that it really has to be sometimes where, back to the grind. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just so much to absorb.
Yeah, when you see something on your calendar that says meeting on lesbian scenes at 11 a.m., it does put everything in perspective for me. But listen, when I started this, I literally thought, man, if I could make a few bucks in advertising, it'll be awesome. I didn't know anything about the internet. I didn't even know what a website was.
Right.
Here we are 26 plus years later, and I have 40 skin employees. And yes, have I had success? Yes. But think about my job. Like, I have not had to work in a real office that, it has, just in the mainstream business world. That's like my whole job has been nude scenes in movies.
Listen,
for 26 plus years. It's so crazy.
I apologize if this sounds obnoxious, but would you say you're doing very well off this?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Let me put it to you this way. When I was in the mid-90s, I was working as a clerk at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. That's the pits, the open outcry trading. It was crazy. I loved it. It was great if you're a guy. I was single, living paycheck to paycheck. I always tell people, thank God I was unsuccessful because I never would have quit that job, living paycheck to paycheck, to start Mr. Skin. Like, if I was making good money, I would have stayed there. And I don't know if you know about the pits in Chicago, but it went computer and all these guys were making tons of dough, are now doing, all kinds of jobs. Some are successful, some aren't. But like I said, I would have stayed there thinking that, a couple more bucks, I was fine. So it's kind of my joke with my friends. Thank God I was unsuccessful so that I could become successful.
So not only then, Mr. Skin, could we find out exactly what happens at the end of Trading Places, but you could also point out the Jamie Lee Curtis topless scenes and how wonderful they are in that movie.
Well, yeah, and that was the thing that I that's when I was at the Merc, okay? See, one of the cool things about the Merc was it was like this big locker room, tons of guys. There was the traders in the pit. I was on the outside clerking, getting the orders from the desks and putting them into the brokers. But there'd be a lot of times where it was so slow and there was nothing going on. So we're all standing there. So all of a sudden, a broker would write down like, Helen Hunt, has she ever been nude? And the runner would come out and I'd be standing there because they had heard there was this guy that knew this stuff off the top of his head. And then I just would have fun with it. Like, I thought it was a joke. I knew the stuff, but I made it fun. So I'd go, because at the time, Helen Hunt was on Mad About You with Paul Reiser. Yeah. So I'd write Helen Hunt, the water dance, 34 minutes in. Oh yeah, it'll give you a riser or something. And all of a sudden,
a Paul Reiser.
Quiet, and all of a sudden you hear this big cheer and laughter in the pit.
That's funny.
That's how I became this. But you got to understand, in the mid-90s, the internet didn't really exist. There wasn't websites. It wasn't until I had the skill, but then the internet came and someone approached me. It's a long story, but I was in a bar and guys were quizzing me, and someone that actually had a little radio show in Chicago said, "You got to come on my show. This is fascinating. Like, people could ask you any actress and if they've been nude." And that's how it started. So again, I wasn't like I was a kid thinking, boy, when I grow up,
I'm going to be Mr. Skin. Well, to your point, we have a number of TV shows. In fact, the number one spot on the list. You want to go through a few of these?
Yeah, I'll give you some. Yeah, let me give you some of the highlights, because I should point out we just launched this for free at MrSkin.com if anyone wants to check it out. And like I said, these are my 10 celebrity nude scenes of 2025. We could debate all you want, but to me, these were the best of the year. Celebrity. I'm not counting obscure Russian movies that maybe. And this is people you'd actually know or shows you would know.
We're not going to argue with the keynote speaker at the AVN Awards.
Oh, such a prominent guest you have on the air right now. But anyway, so let me start. Like, number 10. There's no celebrity involved here, but it's from Peacemaker. You know this James Gunn that did Guardians of the Galaxy and Superman?
Sure, he's controlling the DC universe now.
Mm-hmm. Well, he has a show on HBO called Peacemaker with John Cena.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
And in the second season, first episode, John Cena gets drugged out and he wakes up he's at this party. And it blew me away because this is HBO. Like HBO's come a long way. There a lot of stuff this year happened on HBO, by the way. And he walks through an orgy where there's like tons of full frontal naked women and dudes. And it's just a very funny scene. It had the most nudity of any one scene of the year. And again, it wasn't any particular celebrity, but it was a...
See, it's a whole room. He's depressed. The love of his life is he can't connect. So John Cena, as Peacemaker. The thing that was controversial about this, Mr. Skin, is that James Gunn himself made Peacemaker a part of the Superman movie, almost suggesting, here's your next logical step in the progression of the DC universe. But people had come out of Superman, Peacemaker, not realizing it's a different animal.
Well, I'd like to point out that James Gunn got his start working for Troma and Lloyd Kaufman, and he wrote Romeo and Juliet, which to people like me that think of there's A-list movies, there's B-list movies, there's C-list movies, and then there's Troma. and he, so his background is in that world. He becomes super famous, but he started doing D-movie nudity, which I appreciate. So anyway,
let's go to your next prominent one where you think is
if you guys, I hope you know about Baby Girl. Number 8 was Nicole Kidman and Baby Girl.
So I've heard things about it, and I've heard that it's very provocative, and it's made the list.
Well, let me paint a picture for you. So Nicole Kidman, who's close to 60 but still looks amazing, she plays an executive. She's a big shot executive. She has Antonio Banderas as her husband, so she doesn't have some schlub at home. She is at the office and they get an intern played by Harris Dickinson. He's this cocky intern and she's kind of intrigued. They end up having an affair, but what makes it so cool, and she's very naked in this, is she becomes submissive to him. And it's it's a very sexy movie. I recommend this for husband to watch with wife, or someone to watch with their girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. It is very hot. It's Nicole Kidman and Baby Girl that came in at number 8 on our list. So.
All right.
She is beautiful. Her body
top-notch shape.
Is phenomenal right now.
Yeah,
and it's wild because she's the one in power. It's almost like 50 Shades of Grey. The other flip side, yeah.
But with beauty, and it's funny, you see that stuff on the internet where they show when the Golden Girls were 50, what they look like.
They're like
nowadays.
40.
Yeah, they're 35. You're like, what? Yeah, it's different now. But another big nude scene this year is number 5 on my list was from White Lotus. White Lotus has become kind of a popular show, obviously, on HBO. And Amy Lou Wood had the scene with Walt Goggin in episode 2. And she, of course, if you don't know, she was the actress with the teeth that was parodied on SNL.
I think she's great.
Listen, she's awesome, and she has fun with it, and it's just weird in this day and age for an actress to have a fixable flaw that they don't fix. You know,
yeah.
But I will say there's no other flaws on her body. By the way, when you see this topless scene, you'll understand. So
well, and the show's great. The show is just terrific. This is maybe the best season of the 3. It was just sensational, and she was a good part of that. So well, good for her. Gap and all.
Yeah, good for her for being unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And now another one. You guys, we may have aged out of this show, but I kind of dig it. Number 4 is Rachel Sennett in I Love LA, which is more for as she said in describing the show, that it's entourage for 20-something internet girls. So I'm like, holy geez, why do I like the show? But she's really talented. And in the very first episode, and I'm a big fan, guys, of nude debuts. In other words, Nicole Kidman, that was her 21st time in her career she had done nudity. This is Rachel Sennett's first. So I'm a big fan of that. So Rachel Sennett in I Love LA, season 1, episode 1, the first 3 minutes came in at number 4, which was really cool. I wanted to point out a fun one for you guys. Do you guys watch The Bear? Do you at least
love
know
The Bear?
Yeah.
Okay. The girl that plays Jeremy Allen White's girlfriend is named Molly Gordon. Mm-hmm. I think, she's really, really pretty. She did a movie this year called Oh Hi. And it's an interesting premise because she meets this guy and they it's going great. She really is into this guy, and they go away, and it's early in their relationship, and he gets out the bondage stuff. So she's going to tie him up in the bed. And in this scene, she shows her breasts, makes her nude debut, always a big deal. And by the way, when I do my anatomy awards for best breasts, when I talk to you guys in the spring, we may have a front runner, no pun intended. But anyway, how about this? So the guy decides, while he's tied up, mind you, to break up with her. And let's just say it doesn't go well. Think Misery, but not with Kathy Bates.
Whoa. So, I like that concept.
Interesting.
That's cool. Yeah. And then,
so anyway.
I have to say... did you see the sponsored ad?
No. Yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Marissa is pulling up these clips on Mr. Skin.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, an ad came up that was slightly more graphic than the scenes.
Yeah, the guy's got to make some advertising revenue in this business. I'm sorry to do that.
Yeah, it pops up unless you're cautious. All right, so
don't deny it.
That's not all that. That's not all that pops up when you're watching. I'm sorry.
But hey.
Let's go to number one, because I've been raving about this show since it debuted. We had
okay, cool. I love your perspective. I'm glad.
We had one of the stars in here. And terrific. This is Desperate Housewives in all the tremendously wrong ways of the best kind. My wife and I loved watching the show together.
Well, you'll be happy to know that they've renewed this show for a second season already.
We're talking The Hunting Wives.
Yeah, it's a Netflix show called The Hunting Wives, and it came in at my number one nude scene of the year. It's the Malin Ackerman, Brittany Snow. You could have listened. Episode 4 and episode 8, they hooked up in both. So take your pick. I'm showing you guys episode 8, but it's interesting because Brittany Snow plays. So she's from the big city, and she moves to small town Texas to relocate. And meets this, and you could probably explain it better than I, but meets Malin Ackerman, who runs this hunting wives club, which you're right, that's Desperate Housewives for all the wrong reasons.
So she's the sassy collective that you believe. Okay, there's sort of a Bible. Kids going to school and so on and so forth. But there is this whole thing underneath that is going on, and it doesn't take long. And before you know it, Brittany Snow for me is always pitch perfect, and has always been.
Yeah.
And then it turns out everyone is doing everyone has a sweet mother of God moment where you're like, holy hell, I did not see that coming. So, and then them hooking up twice in the way they do is just wild. I mean, there's a scene in bed with one of the characters and a strap on, and my wife and I just look at each other like, what? It's great.
And I think too is like, I think that there's so much competition now. Like HBO has obviously stepped up its nudity game. I know they had Game of Thrones, but it's what you saw in Peacemakers at another level. And like, everyone's kind of pushing the envelope a little more. And you're right. This is just a Netflix show that you think is kind of Desperate Housewives. And then all of a sudden you're seeing strap-ons and you're seeing lesbians. It's just like, what? But it's still a good show.
It is.
It's always fun when you could, I always say to someone, if you could, two shows, we all have, it's so hard to watch all these shows. But if I told you these are two equally great shows, but one of them has amazing nudity and sex scenes, all right, I'm going to watch the one with nudity and sex.
You know what? Also, we were talking about this the other day. I love, Preston was bringing it up as well. I love a whodunit. And this is a whodunit. From beginning to end, it's a murder mystery.
Like White Lotus type of stuff.
Like White Lotus. And that's why it works, amongst the other stuff. So,
So anyway, it's, and it's another interesting thing about that. So we looked at this year, you wouldn't know the answer, but I'll tell you it. What television show had the most nude scenes this year? And it was that Taylor Sheridan that does all those different shows. His 1923 actually had the most different nude scenes. They had 11 nude scenes. Hunting Wives had the second most of any show on television.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So not only is it a good show, it has tons of great nude. And just the Brittany, the scene I chose, that's not it. There's more. There's a lot more. No.
Oh, I thought you had a question, Marissa.
No. I'm sorry.
Listen. A lot
in shock from seeing the ad.
All right. Well, this is what I will share is that you guys are talking about HBO having a lot of nude scenes, and I noticed this at the beginning of Righteous Gemstones. It must have been like 2 or 3 years ago, and there was something that happened. Maybe there was a fire or an explosion at the church in the mall, and these guys come running out, and they are full nude. Penises hanging out everywhere. And I was like, we are in a new sexual revolution. Like they are putting equal men and women fully naked on screen. I do watch that show. I love LA. And I saw the actress naked in the first scene. And I was like, all right, are we going to see her boyfriend naked? And there was a scene later. We didn't see it yet. But, we have some equal sexual revolution going on.
Yeah.
Well, Preston and Steve, I didn't want to bring this up, but now that she did, I did want to mention that other than the Peacemaker scene that obviously had a lot of male genitalia, the show with the second most was Righteous Gemstones.
Righteous Gemstones. There you go. And all you need is a
4 gemstones this season.
You just need a group shot, and you can take care of Mr. Skin listing in one fell swoop.
Marissa's right because
I was holding that info back, but since it's brought up, now I got to talk about it.
Shows like The Boys have taken us to places,
literally places,
like inside of places that we've never been to before. It's crazy what's happening in television.
You know what I do think though? Like with The Boys, like shows that do it in an inventive style. Yeah, you don't get any points from me because you're just throwing it up there. Right. Oh, we're going to shock you. Be creative about it, like The Boys did. God. So
that opening scene.
Man, now, Mr. Skin, will you watch movies that don't have nudity in them, looking for nudity, or do you find out ahead of time?
No, to be honest, I have a team. Like I have 40. I have 40 people that work for me. About 8 of which are either writers or what we call content people who go through every movie and television show. That's their job. I don't have to do that. But what I see is when they've extracted the nudity from the movies and television show, I see it as it comes around through the assembly line. So I do not have to watch every show, but I could still see all the nudity.
Right.
So you could still sit back.
Really what my website's all about.
You could sit back and enjoy a viewing of Seabiscuit and still enjoy.
I mean, I love Breaking Bad. It wasn't a show with really nudity. But
all right.
I do love. It doesn't have to have nudity for me to be interested because I'm seeing all the nudity anyway.
With the glut of shows that are available, it does happen from time to time where it catches me off guard. So there are shows that I've missed out on their entire run, and I'm now going back and checking out. And one I just started recently was suggested by Casey and other people is Homeland. And within the first...
great show.
First episode of the first season... Miranda Baccarin.
Yeah. Baccarin, how do you say that? Baccarin, yeah.
But I was like, okay.
What a raccarin.
Didn't know had no idea that was coming up. And that was an interesting little surprise.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's really a good show. I always felt with that show, I was so into it for the first few seasons. And then for whatever reason, I can't remember why, but my interest dropped off. But I thought the first couple of seasons of that show was so powerful.
A lot of people.
I'll tell you what, the onus is on them, and we talk about this. We just had one of the actresses from Stranger Things in earlier, and the truth of the matter is that, that's 5 seasons of a show that took 10 years to roll out. When you take these pregnant pauses, with the glut of things that are on, you got to keep the content coming a little quicker. Even I know they're producing basically full movies and streaming them out, but I'm like you. It happens so often that my wife and I will start a series, and it's like, well. Where is it now? We're excited, and you wait, and suddenly something else steps into its place.
Right. No, it's the waiting is that's the big issue with the streaming is like it just takes too long.
Yep.
And then if it takes too long, you move on to something else, and sometimes you don't come back. So, I agree. That's definitely a problem.
Well, we've got our top 10. You've narrowed it down for us. You've done the work, you and your crew. We appreciate that, Mr. Scanlon. You've got the Scanatomy Awards, or the, is that did I say it correct? Anatomy Awards.
Anatomy Awards. That'll be coming up in right around Oscar time. And what I love about that is this is the top 10 nude scenes, but that's where I can really curate the wild and crazy nudity from all over the world that happens. And I really enjoy the Anatomy Awards because it's it's not just about who had the best breasts, best butt, but it's about like the weirdest, craziest stuff. And I don't care if it's from a Russian movie or television show or from a Spanish movie or television show. If it's nudity and it happened in 2025, we feature it in our Anatomy Awards. And that's
it's your version of It's a Small World after all. It's just beautiful.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Skin, thanks for the heads up, brother. We appreciate it. And have a great new year, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Same to you guys. Great talking to you. I always have a ride on your show.
Thanks, bud. All right, Mr. Skin, everybody, let's hear it for him.
Make me over.
It's interesting. I didn't know. So we have Mr. Skin, and our next guest is Cox.
There we go. Yeah.
Charlie Cox is going to be joining us next. So we'll do that in a little while. Let's before we take a break, I just want to remind you that we made an announcement and that Pierre's concert that we're having next week, A Show of Life, is going to be streamed online. You will be able to see it.
This is great.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful because, I mean, the main reason it had been considered was the show sold out in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And we wish we could have booked a bigger venue, but this needed to take place in a pretty, short amount of time. And so we love the Fillmore, and we're happy that it was available. But clearly more people wanted to be at this. So the access is very welcome. So you'll be able to stream this via Veeps. It's $9.99. And you'll be able to watch it on the fancy thinking box at home. You can go to WMMR.com and click on events. And you can get the purchase link. You can go ahead and get that and be set up. And that will be next week, the 17th.
Excellent. And kudos to Chuck D'Amico, who has really put in a ton of legwork to make sure that this happened.
Yep. All right. There's something else I'd like to invite you to be a part of, and that is the Christmas Miracle. That is correct. We have our Christmas Miracle live broadcast taking place next week on the 19th, next Friday, a week from tomorrow. We've got lots of cool prizes. Casey's been curating the prizes and getting them ready together. We're going to be playing a variety of Preston and Steve-centric games, and you might get called out of the audience to participate in one of those, and I'm sure you'll walk away with something. We try to give everybody at least one thing, and we'll have some live musical performances, and it's at the Colonial Theater, and it's presented by Phoenixville First.
It's getting complicated.
610-660-9333 is the number. And if you can join us that particular morning, we would love to have you. The seating is limited, so you'll be one of the coveted few that gets those tickets. And let's get you on board right now and make sure you mark that in your calendar. It is on the 19th. We'll take a break and we'll come back looking for caller number 20. Stay with us.
Because at that point, once you go through, it's a federal building.
That's why you got to pick up the ass buddy for transporting your pots.
Right. I mean,
so they're going to confiscate, but they're not going to arrest you?
Correct. It depends on the amount, though. I mean, you might get like a citation and like almost like an ROR where they're going to give you a citation for it, depending. But most of the time, they're just going to take it and let you travel on, especially if you have a medical marijuana card.
Yeah.
But they could,
and
right?
There are some nuances. with that where, and I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not 100% privy on it because that's more local level.
Right.
And I know for us, we're not dealing with it unless we're actually finding it by the tonnage or the big pounds, and then it's like, oh, all right, that's for us.
Hey, Mike, can I ask you a different question? Because I've heard about from people who said they don't want to get a medical marijuana card because then they wouldn't be able to purchase a firearm. It's like you can have one or the other, but you can't have both. Is that
is false?
Okay.
False. Okay.
That is false. So I have friends of mine that have the medical marijuana card and also have a Pennsylvania state carry permit. So it is false. It's there's obviously if you get caught carrying and you were smoking and you're high, yeah, there's some implications, right? It's just like drinking. Like even for me as a Fed, I can basically carry anywhere. However, where I can't carry is anytime if I decide to have a drink, right? I'm not supposed to have it on me, and if I do, that's it. It doesn't matter who I am and what I am. It's an automatic. Oh, okay, yep, you're done.
Okay,
right?
So
because that's the implications.
let me ask you, Mike. So I do a lot of human trafficking, but I want to get a Class C license.
Yeah,
Is that going to be an issue?
I mean, it won't be, but what's your address again?
All right, Mike. We appreciate the info. Take care, bud.
No problem. Thanks for talking.
All right, see you later.
Hi, Mike.
All right, we actually have a police sergeant.
There you go.
Who wants to correct a couple of things that that Mike may have missed out on. So, and he's in Philly as well. Hey, Joe. Good morning.
Hey, it's just that you look so nice.
That's a great callback.
All right, Joe. What? We're good, man. So, what's the? What can you clear up about this conversation?
Yes, I need to retrain Mike. Mike's pretty close on a couple of things. It is not legal. It is decriminalized.
Okay.
Meaning, anything less than 30 grams possession, it will be confiscated, and you get issued a ticket for $25.
Okay.
If you're smoking it, the ticket is actually $100. But a code violation notice is the same thing we issue for a house with high grass, or if you're like smoking in the entrance of a business because businesses don't allow smoking. It's a ticket.
Okay.
So it's not that big a deal as long as you pay it. There's no criminal offense. You don't have to disclose anything on a job application.
Okay.
Oh, all
that's right. That's what I thought. I thought that there was that you can't be just standing out on a sidewalk, on a public sidewalk, just huffing away. I thought that was, if not illegal, some type of a violation.
Yeah, but it's become so prevalent. It's almost become that drinking a beer in a brown paper bag.
Right.
Cops aren't going to chase everybody through the park.
Yeah, you're
on your porch,
situational.
your house, you're in your car. We're not going to make an issue about it.
Joe, you'd gum up. I mean, if you were to go after everybody, you'd be gumming up. The paperwork alone would be insane going through all that stuff, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd make it 2 blocks from headquarters before I get to that.
Yeah.
So,
All right, say, Sergeant, real quick, because I just got another text from my friend who is a state trooper here in Pennsylvania, and he says that guy is absolutely wrong about the medical marijuana card and firearms. He says you absolutely cannot have a medical marijuana card and purchase a firearm in Pennsylvania. He
Is
said
it
that
purchase
is
a firearm or
purchase
concealed permit?
purchase a firearm.
Your state trooper friend is exactly right. If you have a medical marijuana card in Pennsylvania, it automatically prevents you from being able to apply for and purchase a firearm.
But if you had a firearm first, what if you had a firearm first?
In theory, you're supposed to turn it into the state if you get caught. Now, I imagine nobody's kicking down your door to take your legally purchased firearm because you got a card. But it's probably in your best interest to maybe not disclose.
Wow.
Why is that, though?
Just go visit Jersey more often.
Why is that? What is the reasoning behind that?
Because it's federal. So the state, which is
got it.
when you purchase a firearm, you have to register it with the state.
Right.
When you purchase that firearm, because it's state, it's all submitted to the federal government.
All right.
Where
Got
the
it.
federal government, all marijuana is still illegal.
All right, Joe, let me throw this scenario out to you. Let's say I have a medical marijuana card. I am defending my home. Someone breaks into my house. I have a firearm. I use it. Does that complicate things?
It can and it can't. What you're looking at, is you can justify the use of deadly force. In theory, I can take my firearm and leave it at my father's house. And if my father used that firearm to defend his property, he violated no law. He was not in possession of that firearm outside the house.
Okay.
Hey, Joe, what about driving under the influence of marijuana? And does that vary from state to state?
It does. And one of the issues in Pennsylvania they've talked about is because we're kind of decriminalizing and there's the medical, when you get pulled over for DUI for alcohol, there's a limit you have to reach. It's 0.08 is the limit of alcohol. If you're below 0.08, you don't get charged with an offense.
Right.
If you have any marijuana in your system, and I believe it can last anywhere from 3 to 7 days, depending on the level. If you have any marijuana in your system, you're automatically charged.
DUI.
Even if it's you smoked weed 2 days ago and you have trace amounts, because that they test for, I think it's there's a doctor in court who does this part, but I always look at his sheets. They test for THC, and I think it's delta hydrocannabinoid 9 or something. And when they test for all of that, as long as it shows up in the system, you're charged with 3802D, which is the drug offense.
So you're just like a bad driver on a certain day, and you just do a dick move as you're driving. But if they test for it, and it could be a couple of days old, they'll charge you with that under the influence.
Yeah, it's one of the things that they've been talking about addressing because you can leave the bar and you're at 0.06, you're free to go home, but you have that little bit of marijuana and we smell.
It's the weird thing, Joe, and we talk about this because there's so many from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, from state to state. There's the lack of parity, and again, I was reading an article in the paper about how it's hard to really, at the time of arrest, determine how far along someone is if they've smoked a lot of pot.
Yeah, they need to refine the testing process, but you would think that would have been done by now. You know, because it's been around for a long time.
It's one of those things that decriminalization happened so fast, and it was essentially, look, we're just going to, because it was a Philly thing. It was, we're no longer going to arrest for it. We're just going to issue tickets.
Right.
But the state is the one that makes the determination on criminal and motor vehicle code violations, and they have not caught up.
Okay. So, all right. Can you have a medical marijuana card and a fishing license?
I think so.
They're still working on that.
Hey, the firearms thing, is that nationally or is that just in the state?
He was saying it was federal.
But
so the firearms, it's all submitted federal, so they still fall under federal guidelines. Not every state has a medical marijuana program.
Okay. Got it.
That's still local.
Okay.
They're still state by state.
All right, Sarge, thanks for the info, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good one, guys.
All right, you too.
I'd be the worst. But my brothers are all both law enforcement. I'd be the worst at it. What code is this again?
Yeah.
I forget the Miranda rights, all that stuff. I'd be the worst.
Wow.
I mean, like, I couldn't even umpire a softball game.
Yeah, could you imagine going into a drug bust? I thought you said go into the bag.
Is this infield fly rule?
Thank you for saying that, because the umpire yesterday missed 2 infield fly rules, and we were losing by like 1,000 runs. I'm like, please just give us these outs.
Real quick, one of the funniest moments of my life was watching my father try to explain to my mother the infield fly rule. And it took about an hour and a half, and she still doesn't understand it. But boy, did my brothers enjoy the process.
Well, it seems like all this has a multitude of infield fly rules.
Seriously.
Yeah, people are trying to hash out, Nick.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
It is. But, I mean, things have lightened up so much. If you look back, 25 years ago as opposed to now and where things are. I mean, me as a user, I love it. I think it's great.
You're so right, though, Press, because years ago, I remember he smokes pot.
I know. Or if I were to mention it on the air, would have been, even just a couple of years ago, would have been really taboo.
And now we have advertisers.
Yeah.
Bill walks around toking all day.
I still think of it that way, though, a little bit. Like, I'm like, oh, yeah, he's a pot smoker.
My romance with weed is I can remember back to my teenage years, like really good bags specifically of pot that
Play
I
some
would
Journey
get.
faithfully.
And just I hold these great little memories. Now, I also did some really stupid stuff while being high throughout the years, especially in those earlier days, because when you first start trying it, it's augmented in its effect. I mean, and of course they have strains now that'll still get me baked out of my mouth. One of the highest I've ever been. And I'm not going to retell the story here because I've told it 1,000 times, was when we went to Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
And went to this couple's house, and I smoked some local stuff, and I'm like, I am so high. I couldn't believe it.
Pierre's mentioned that over the years about how now they can be more specific and the strains are more powerful. And,
oh, my God.
And a good friend of ours, Steve McLean, I guess he took a gummy or something at a wedding.
Yeah, it was a gummy. It was an edible, and he had a reaction.
I just said, let's try
had
this.
to go to the hospital.
We had to be brought out on a gurney.
When I went to my very first meeting as soon as I got my medical card and went to a dispensary, and I met with the pharmacist who sat me down to walk me through the process. It's funny because he goes, all right, so, just to find out what your tolerance level is, he goes, what you do is you take a hit of this, and he goes, and you wait 15 minutes and see how you feel. And he turns to me and he goes, and really wait 15 minutes. Like a real 15 minutes. Because the mistake everybody makes, especially with edibles, is they take this half hour, 45 minutes later, they're like, I'm not feeling anything. Let me take another one. And then
they're gone.
They didn't realize that it takes an hour and 15 minutes for
on 93.3 WMMR.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by Helium Comedy Club, bringing Philly the best comics today and tomorrow live every week. Tickets and lineup at heliumcomedy.com. A man in Washington State who allegedly tried to break into a home found trouble afoot when he got stuck in a fence. Sheriff's office responded to a residential area for reports of an in-progress burglary. The homeowner said a stranger was actively banging on the front door and trying to get in. They told deputies that they were so scared that they used couches to barricade the front door. The homeowners told deputies that the would-be burglar went back to the rear of the house and then tried to break a window. And according to deputies, the suspect broke through a fence and tried to crawl under, but he ended up getting his foot stuck in it.
I can't get out.
Well, he was crawling through it.
I'm stuck.
Responding deputies had to use bolt cutters to free the suspect's foot.
Take his pants off.
Once the 20-year-old was unstuck, he was promptly arrested and booked for residential burglary.
That's an amateur when it comes to home invasion.
Deputies said that it appears that he was under the influence of some substance, so it's unclear if it was drugs or alcohol. Deputies in Wisconsin said they caught a driver using a flashlight as a headlight on their car.
Hey, if you're close enough, it works.
On Friday night, the Door County Sheriff's Office said deputies stopped the vehicle for speeding. The Sheriff's Office said that the vehicle was missing a driver's side headlight and that a handheld flashlight had been taped and pointed forward as a substitute.
What did he do for high beams, a second flashlight?
The Sheriff's Office said while an attempt was made to increase visibility, a flashlight is not a safe or legal replacement for proper headlights.
What about your iPhone light?
The Sheriff's Office didn't say if the driver would face additional citations for the headlight, but they did kind of give him props that at least he
was trying.
Yeah. All right, In-N-Out Burger, the chain in California, has axed the number 67 from its ordering system after the viral 6-7 meme wreaked havoc on its stores. The West Coast burger chain retired the double-digit numeral from its orders after eager internet-brained adolescents regularly waited for the number to be called. A video circulating on social media also showed an In-N-Out employee informing a customer that the fast food restaurant removed the order number to keep pranksters at bay. They said, "We have taken 67 out of our system. So whenever we're taking orders, it goes 66 to 68 because of people like you."
It's like removing the 13th floor in a building.
So they can't do it anymore. It's driving people crazy. All right, we're keeping this a little short because we have a guest coming up in our next segment. So I'm going to do one more story and then we will wrap this up. After crashing a stolen BMW yesterday, a Florida man denied swiping the wheels. He explained to the cops he was actually teleported into the vehicle.
Oh, my God.
So he wasn't stealing it. He was teleported into the vehicle.
Well, that's amazing. I assume they flew him to Washington.
Investigators allege that Calvin Johnson took the 2018 convertible while the car's owner was walking his dog. Johnson rummaged through the unlocked BMW and found the keys in a cup holder.
Yeah, we got another teleportation incident here.
In short order, Johnson, driving over 100 miles an hour, crashed the car in a single vehicle accident.
Says he lives in the Upside Down.
Passing motorists extracted him from the totaled auto, and when cops arrived at the crash scene, Johnson told of his purported teleportation and made a passing reference to the X-Men.
Oh.
So, maybe, he might be
Nightcrawler.
Might be Nightcrawler. But he said, "You saved me from the aliens."
Oh, my God.
Johnson was transported to a local hospital where he was placed under guard, and he will be transferred to the county jail upon his release from the hospital.
Oh, yeah, we're going to send you to a farm where you can run around with other teleportation victims.
Johnson has been charged with grand theft auto, a felony, and driving on a license that was suspended in 2019. He has an extensive criminal record. I know that shocks you.
Oh, yeah.
It includes convictions for this year for trespass, obstruction, loitering, resisting, and grand theft for stealing a $1,500 bicycle. Asked why he stole the bike, Johnson answered, "I just felt like it." And there
He's
you
honest.
go. Mm-hmm. That's what I have in our bizarre file this morning. All right, we will take another break. By the time we get back, Mr. Charlie Cox will be joining us for a chit chat. We'll have that when we return. Make sure you stay close. Kicking, you've got to wait.
Yeah, and they
have to wait.
End up curled up
Till you find out what your level is.
in the fetal position. I am pro weed. I do think that when it comes to teenagers, you really have to be cautious.
Yes.
It affects teenage brains differently than it affects
it
adult
absolutely
brains.
does, yeah.
And so I think that needs to be, you have to be really, really cautious if you're younger than 18. Preston, have you ever been to Amsterdam?
I have not.
I have. And it's beautiful. And when I went there, it was like 96 or 97. The fact that weed culture was illegal there really changed my perspective on a lot of things. And I think you would enjoy it.
Okay.
It's fun to get high and go to art museums.
Steve, I it just out of nowhere just started getting like really paranoid on it. And so like
That's a common side effect, is it not?
Well, it can be, and so, but and I had a friend who stopped because she was getting paranoid on, and I didn't get that. It didn't register with me until it started happening to me in Preston one time. We we partook, and then we were at a bar, and it was on the same day as the Kentucky Derby. Okay. And there was a guy at the bar who was just taking bets for the Kentucky Derby. So, like, no harm, no foul.
Right.
It's not some big gambling ring or anything like that. So I placed a bet for a trifecta and then I sit down and I see these guys sitting at a table, and I was convinced that they were the FBI and they were going to.
Oh my God!
And that they were going to bust the place for illegal gambling.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I called my wife and had her pick me up. I was like, get me out of here. Well, I'm like, we're gonna get arrested.
About to be arrested by the FBI.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right? I swear to God.
Homeland Security's here. They're going to arrest me.
That's why, honestly, I've never been drunk and I've never been into this, but I have no issue with it whatsoever. My thing is that paranoia and fear of losing control.
Paranoia, anxiety.
Anxiety.
Like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be the first person that dies of a heart attack from smoking pot.
I think I'm too much of a puss.
Yeah.
I think the NBA just took steps recently to decriminalize it amongst players because it's so prevalent among NBA. I mean, a lot of athletes.
They haven't been testing for years.
Right, but you could get fined or suspended for it. And then, I think a lot about hockey players because they beat the crap out of each other every night. And then they turn to opiates and or coke or alcohol.
Yeah,
and there's a strong movement in the NHL to make weed legal in that sport because it can treat players a lot. Riley Cote, man, that guy's an interesting dude, and his perspectives on marijuana are fascinating.
He made a whole cottage industry out of it.
When I go to a dispensary, almost always you will see people sitting in the waiting room. Sometimes you have to wait to get back.
Preston.
To go in. No. Well, actually, they do. Sometimes they welcome me like that. But you'll see people who clearly need pain management, and they're with canes and just look like they're there to get medicine.
I've told you this many times before, so I don't use pot. I have no desire to. However, in my own life, I've said this story about my mother battling the pain of cancer. She was in late stages of her life. The only thing that alleviated the pain at the end there was pot that we were able to get for her. So yes, absolutely, I can see that.
Well, it is indeed 420, and thank you for the calls. By the way, some that I didn't get to, one of them, Jessica, said she had a bartender and a bud tender at her wedding.
Wow.
She's going to.
Oh, she's going to. Oh, that's a pretty sweet deal. And Joe, who called in, he worked at a deli, and their phrase to go smoke weed was check the roof. Because apparently they'd go and I guess go up on the roof and get stoned and come back. So, but anyhow, indeed, it is 420. So thought a little discussion was warranted. What we're going to do is take a break, come back in a second, and have your first chance to win $1,000 in MMRBQ tickets. We'll get the bizarre file as well. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment.
Preston and Steve
on 93.3 WMMR.
Kathy, so ladies and gentlemen, today we honor a man who has a very special way of speaking, of announcing his presence, and that is our boss, Bill Weston. Yeah. Today is Talk Like Bill Weston Day. And in honor of Talk Like Bill Weston, it's like Talk Like a Pirate Day. At some point, you might
think it's better.
You don't have to talk about it all day long. But if you do throw a little homage to Bill Weston, it's great. And in as much, we are going to do a contest called Who Said It Bestin'? Talk Like Bill Weston. If you are interested in winning some great prizes and you think you do a pretty good Bill Weston impression, text Bill to 39333. Right now, we are going to randomly select people to play, and we're going to text you a line that you will have to read in conjunction with someone else. So we're going to have two people reading the same Bill Weston line in their best Bill Weston impression. We will vote amongst us here. We will pick a winner. And then we have prizes like Dave Chappelle tickets.
Which is amazing.
Casey, what all do we have to give away? And by the way, don't call.
Right.
Text Bill to 39333. We are going to text. We're going to randomly choose people through the text, and we're going to send you the line, and we're going to call you and get you on the air with us. So you don't have to dial us at all. Just text the word Bill to 39333. What all do we have to give away, Case?
Yeah, so in addition to the Chappelle tickets, which go on sale tomorrow, we also have tickets to go see Fantastic Beasts. As well, with that, the Philly Orchestra is performing Harry Potter at the Man in July. So we have, basically 2 pairs of tickets there.
And by the way, the Chappelle show is going to be Saturday, May 28th at the Hard Rock in Atlantic City.
We have cases of Loverboy, which is that is a sparkling hard tea, and we also have the Batman. We got the Batman on digital.
Awesome.
The Batman.
He's like a bat.
All right, so text word Bill to 39333, and we will see if you've got what it takes to talk like the best in Bill Weston.
Would you explain the origin again? Because it was simply by happenstance.
Yeah, we were talking to actor Ed Begley Jr., who you know from Christopher Guest movies and all kinds of stuff, and he had used the phrase low-hanging fruit. That's one of Bill's favorite refrains.
Yes.
And so afterwards, Nick had said, I didn't know today was Talk Like Bill Weston Day. And then immediately we said, well, we have to create that now. And so therefore we have done it. So April 21st is Talk Like Bill Weston Day.
There are countless arbitrary national this and that days. There's no reason this should not be a national day.
The funny thing is it takes place on Dr. Mike's birthday, where we could clearly do a Talk Like Dr. Mike Day, too. Because all you have to do is talk like that.
Well, in a weird twist, the reason why we started saying privileged was because of our association with Dr. Mike.
That's true.
That's
weird.
Let's share the origin of that for a moment, because we all have Dr. Mike is our doctor at Penn Medicine, and we were talking about, I don't know, just seeing Dr. Mike or whatever. And Bill told us that we should not talk about that often because it makes us seem privileged. And
because we go to the doctor.
Because we go to the doctor. And so we thought that was hilarious. And so therefore, privilege became part of the vernacular.
And generated a very successful line of T-shirts.
Yes, it did.
I think because we were saying Penn Medicine, and it wasn't like, oh, we went to the doctor, because it was this big, I don't know, conglomerate. We sounded like we were privileged because we went to Penn Medicine.
Right. It was just one of those little Bill concerns.
It's okay.
And so
many of those are represented in these Billicisms.
Yep. So that was born. And then, obviously low-hanging fruit and third leg of the stool and the barn door and all these little things. Hom-yonkel.
The best part is that Bill now gets it. He'll come in and go, I actually do talk like that.
Right. Well, it's funny. He doesn't speak like that all the time.
Yeah.
But
it's greeting people.
Bill doesn't have the ability. You know how if I see you, Case, yo, dude, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, that's my delivery. Hey, man, how are you? Or good morning or whatever it may be. Bill makes an entrance. He opens the door, and he usually does it like he almost kicks it open, like he'll open it very big. Morning show, people. And he does it that way, and then he settles into more normal,
very casual
conversation. Yeah, totally.
Morning, everyone.
And it's great. It's hilarious. And sometimes
even he chuckles.
Sometimes it starts with, in our meeting, it starts with this, okay? And I have to. He comes in with his book, with his notebook, and he'll go like this.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Are we ready for the meeting? Like he'll slam stuff down on the desk. There's just something about, and it's great.
Yeah.
And it's not mean spirited.
Not at all.
It's just his time to get to work, people. It's like his indicator that we're beginning, or a slap like that.
Yeah.
He'll do some
How
kind
can
of.
he slap?
How can he slap? But anyhow, it's an endearing quality that Bill has. It's very funny, and we have fun with it.
The thing is, it's so similar to Ted Knight, and his delivery is very similar.
All right, so Talk Like Bill Weston Day. We're getting people on board to play Who Said It Bestin'. And we have sent the lines to you. All you have to do is text the word Bill to 39333, and we will randomly choose you and send you the lines, and you will have to say them against another person. So that's what we're going to do now. I don't know what they're going to say. Steve had written down these lines. They've been sent to him. I don't know which lines are going to be delivered to us, but I'm going to get 2 callers on the line. We're going to start with Steve. Hey, Steve, good morning to you.
Hi.
All right, Steve, you're going to be going against Brian. Let me get Brian on board. Brian, are you there?
All right. Hello.
Hello, Brian.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Wonderful. All right, so let's get started. First, we're going to have Steve read his line. Then we're going to have Brian read his line in their best Bill Weston, and then we'll take a vote amongst the 5 of us here in the studio and determine who our winner is. So, Steve, we're going to start with you. Give us your best Bill Weston.
Privileged. Not everyone has access to doctors.
All right. That was really good. Brian?
Because it's not. Yes. I'll explain after.
Brian, let's hear your delivery, please.
Privilege. Not everyone has access to doctors.
Okay.
Try a different riff on it.
Yeah. Let's go. Nick, who do you vote for?
The first guy.
And Kathy.
First guy.
Steve. Yep.
Steve.
It's unanimous. Steve is our winner. Sorry, Brian. We got to let you go. Steve, that was a wonderful Bill Weston, by the way.
Thank you.
And therefore, we have this prize for you.
Well, Steve, privilege. You just won yourself a pair of tickets to see Dave Chappelle.
Oh, not
Isn't
everyone can make it to a Dave Chappelle show.
Isn't he in that awfully Billy Bob Thornton movie?
See, the thing is that you come out big with that privilege, and then you go.
Right.
All right, so the Chappelle show that you're going to go see, by the way, is going to be May 28th at the Hard Rock Live Edis Arena. That's in Atlantic City. And tickets for both Chappelle shows, which is May 28th and 29th, are going to go on sale this Friday. That's tomorrow. And all the details are at hardrockhotelatlanticcity.com.
This Chappelle show,
Got to go.
this Chappelle show came out of the blue. I didn't hear any this is very cool.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, we're going to get two more callers on the line in just a second, and we will see what line they're going to deliver to us. So Marissa and Connor are now contacting the people that we have sent the texts to. They'll get them up a couple at a time, and we need to make sure this is coordinated so they have that they're saying the same
Well,
lines.
during the time, I'd like to give some advice on whittling, Preston. So that
whittling?
Yeah, the blade goes away from you as you're carving the wood.
All right, let me get our callers. We have Kenny that is there. Hey, Kenny.
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. How about you?
Good, wonderful. Hang on. We're going to get you up against Brad. Hey, Brad, are you there?
Yes.
All right, Brad, we're doing our best Bill Weston. It's Talk Like Bill Weston Day. So, Brad, we're going to start with you. Give us your best Bill Weston line.
All right. Being local is the third leg of the stool.
All right. Being local is the third leg of the stool. Kenny, let's hear your Bill Weston.
For MMR.
93.3 WMMR. Dirty Honey, singer of that band right there, Mark LaBelle, is going to be appearing at the A Show of Life concert for Pierre Robert next week. We had an announcement concerning that earlier this morning as well. If you didn't get tickets, remember they released some extra ones yesterday, and some people had hope and got on board and got those tickets. A lot of people did not. We are now going to have your opportunity to stream the event live via Veeps. VEEPS, and it's $9.99. You can watch it at home, and it's also available as an app, so you can grab that on some smart TVs and Apple TVs and things like that, so look into that. And you can go to WMMR.com as well. They have a purchase link that's right there. Click on the events page, and you can sign up. It's $9.99, and yes, a portion of the proceeds are going to benefit Mana, so that's wonderful. And we're excited that, there were so many people that wanted to get to the event and just couldn't because it was, limited amount of tickets and so many people that wanted to get on board. So I'm happy that at least you'll be able to watch in this fashion.
Well, and as you pointed out, timing was really important here. We didn't want this to go on, and before we, it seemed appropriate to get this out and allow people to get together and honor Pierre through music. And so this is the best time and the best available venue to do it. But having this extra ability just makes it that much more special.
Yep, absolutely. All right, we are waiting to hear from Charlie Cox. We have not heard yet, so we can go ahead and move forward with a couple other things like a lesson question and trash and music news. Marissa, do you have lesson questions, by the way? Did anybody
will be coming over in just a moment?
Whip those up? Who's doing those nowadays?
Ryan is helping.
Ryan's been doing it. Okay.
How about that crap?
Nick used to do that, for those who didn't know, it was a regular part of his gig. So we're shifting things around, the responsibilities, if you will. I know we have a pair of tickets to give away to see Triumph, Rock and Roll Machine Reloaded 50th Anniversary Tour. Woo! It's going to be Thursday, May 28th at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion, and tickets are going to go on sale tomorrow for that, by the way. So let's see if you know the answer to this. Which Beatle do I want to control my brain? 610-660-9333. Let's see if you know the answer to that. Which Beatle does Preston, me, want to control my brain? That's when we were talking about the Just Sayin Institute. All right, 610-660-9333. Let's see if you know the answer to that.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
Brought to you this morning by our friends at Red Robin. Still searching for the perfect gift? Spread the yum with a Red Robin gift card, the easiest and tastiest stocking stuffer. And you can grab one in store or at redrobin.com/gift cards. What's going on, Steve?
Well, Preston, Kelly Osbourne responding to media trolls commenting on her dramatic weight loss, saying she's dropping the weight to fit into her wedding gown. Kelly says she fell in love with this gown the second she saw it on that Barbie doll. Andy Dick telling TMZ he enjoys smoking crack and knows how to manage it. Dick says the trick is knowing the safest alleys to pass out in.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
And finally, even though 28 years later did just okay at the box office and its sequel hasn't even been released yet, Sony is confirming they are moving ahead with a third installment. Right now, the working title is 28 People Will See It. And that's your Hollywood Trash.
All right, lesson question. Let's get the answer. Which Beatle do I want to control my brain? 610-660-9333. And we are going to go to Kevin, see if we can get that answer. Hi, Kevin. Good morning.
Hey, I've been in the Hoot 2 7 years now. Just a little accident, that's all.
Just a little accident.
Really
that is
good.
all.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Which Beatle should control my brain?
That would be Paul.
Yeah, of course, Paul. My favorite. Hang on, Kev. We're going to set you up with a pair of tickets to see Triumph, the Rock and Roll Machine Reloaded 50th Anniversary Tour, Thursday, May 28th, Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. Tickets go on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m. via Ticketmaster. And if you go to WMMR.com, you will have another chance to win tickets. Real quick, for just a second on the Paul McCartney thing. I've been watching Beatles Anthology.
Yeah, great.
Which is on Disney Plus, and it's been redone. And Steve, in the first episode, there's classic footage of the Beatles playing in the Cavern Club. They filmed it one night, and they were doing this great song called Some Other Guy. And I'm watching this, and I'm like, They have made it crystal clear. It is the technology, whatever they use to clean it up is fantastic. So if you haven't watched it yet, and even though I watched it all those years ago that it came out, almost like 30 years ago.
Better than ever.
The anthology came out. I loved it then, and I'm digging it even more now. So thumbs up from yours truly. All right, music news time.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Brought to you by Primo Hoagies. Whenever you're celebrating this season, make it easy and delicious with Primo Hoagies. You can order a catering tray for your holiday get-together at PrimoHoagies.com. It's not just a hoagie, it's a Primo. So one of the artists playing at the Pierre Robert show will be Ed Roland from Collective Soul. And Collective Soul just announced some dates that they're going to hit the road. They have a tour coming up. The band will kick things off January 29th in Anaheim, California. They have the first 10 tour dates listed. That's all they have listed right now. So it's not complete, but they do have one in our general vicinity. They will be performing in Wilkes-Barre on March 31st, and they will be playing at the FM Kirby Center. Tickets will go on sale to the general public this Friday at 10 a.m. But I got to believe that we'll see a
they're not going
to Philadelphia date.
There's no way they're skipping this area.
Devo is also hitting the road once again this year with the Don't Stagnate tour. The whole thing kicks off on April 3rd in Wheatland, California. Nothing in our area, but I just want to put it out there because they may be adding shows down the road. In fact, they are going to add shows at a later date. Maybe there'll be something in this area as well. They said in a statement, we can't wait to hit the road in 2026 and perform for our fans across the West Coast. It is incredible to see our music resonate with fans of all ages. From those who have been with us since the beginning, more than 50 years ago, to a whole new generation discovering Devo for the first time. This tour is a celebration for everyone who's been part of our journey. And tickets go on sale to the general public on Friday at 10 a.m. as well.
Do you know, as of late, I hear Devo now, and I think of Pierre's love of Devo and talking about the show presentation and them, the flower pots that they would wear on their head. He would talk about that. Love the whole thing, the whole vibe of Devo.
Yeah, you should. There's a great documentary that came out earlier this year about them, and they are a real art force. Those guys. So make sure you take a look. Diana Ross will headline Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest in 2026, performing live from Times Square. So she said in a statement, together we begin a new year. Let's embrace a new beginning, new opportunities, new joy, a celebration of love where we all come together as we begin 2026. She'll deliver a medley of classics like I'm Coming Out, Upside Down, and others. And the New Year's Eve special features 39 artists across multiple cities, including Mariah Carey, Post Malone, Chappell Roan, and more.
She's also promised to snort wasabi, which should be really cool.
That's a jackass
Yeah,
move.
yeah.
This year marks the longest telecast in the show's history, running from 8 p.m. To 4 a.m. on ABC.
I always make sure to see at least 60 seconds of it.
That's about all I get. It's going to feature more than 85 songs and expanded coverage from New York, Chicago, Las Vegas, and Puerto Rico. Ryan Seacrest leads broadcast alongside Rita Ora, Chance the Rapper, Rob Gronkowski, and Julianne Hough.
Oh, you had me at Gronk.
Yeah. And then one or two more quick things, actually. Yo Gabba Gabba. Speaking of Devo, Mark Mothersbaugh used to be a regular on Yo Gabba Gabba, and they return for season 2 on January 30th. The upcoming season features a stacked lineup of musical guests, including Yola, Ziggy Marley, Sharon Van Eaton, Santa Gold, Sleigh Bells, Silver Sun Pickups, and more, plus fresh jingles from artists like Churches, Sylvan Esso, and Chai. This season will also feature cameos from Billy Eichner, Tiffany Haddish, David Arquette, Brenda Hunt, and Jamie Camel. So according to the show, they shared in a post that said, we're going to party today, and we can't wait for a new adventure, friends, and dancey dances as well.
That's great.
And then finally, we just made the announcement just about an hour ago, but we reiterated it a moment ago too, but I'll hit it one more time. The Pierre Robert, A Show of Life concert for next week will be streamed online.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool chance for you to be able to grab this. $9.99. A portion of the proceeds are going to go to Mana, and it's through Veeps. And you can go to WMMR.com and click on events, and you will be able to access
By the way,
that.
you can download a Veeps app for your Apple TV, for your Samsung, your Roku, and just watch it right through your TV.
That is correct. Awesome. Our guest is on the line.
Yes!
He is ready to go, and we're all excited, as you can tell. The movie that he is promoting is called Merv, and it is available, is streaming now on Prime Video. You watched it last night.
I watched it last night.
And obviously, we're big Daredevil fans. We would like to welcome Charlie Cox to the program this morning. Hey, Charlie, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
We're wonderful. Thanks for coming on, man. Hey, I have to ask, it looks like are you in your home right now, or are you off in a suite somewhere?
I'm in a hotel. I'm in a hotel room in New York. Yeah, I'm doing a week of press here. So.
I wasn't sure if you were at your house. I was going to see if you had a dog around the house, because Merv is a dog, and people who are not familiar with the movie. Are you a dog guy? Do you own pets?
I'm a dog guy, and we're a dog family since we filmed Merv. I picked up a dog after the movie.
No kidding.
This is very cool.
Yeah,
the dog is adorable in the movie. Merv is the dog, but Merv is played by Gus, the dog, correct? But it's my understanding, Charlie, and you can confirm or deny this, that Gus was a little too sedate for some scenes, so he actually had like a stunt dog, correct?
That's correct. Captain Chaos was his name. So basically, the story is Gus is so professional and so focused and so well trained. The only thing that you can't really teach a dog that's that well trained to do is act crazy and enthusiastic and excited. It's not something that's trainable. So when we needed Gus to be kind of really excited to see us and wagging his tail and licking us and jumping up and down, we had to bring in his stunt double, Captain Chaos.
Captain Chaos. Well,
he's not well trained.
Listen, I enjoyed the movie a lot, and I saw an interview with Zooey Deschanel, who's your co-star, and she's phenomenal, and you fall in love with her immediately. But she's saying, well, it's not really a Christmas movie. It's a Christmas movie. There's a vibe of Christmas to it. It's much more because you got the dog, and you've got, you guys are estranged in the movie, and Merv, not to give too much away, is critical in helping you guys realize how great your relationship was. But I knew the dog was a good actor early on, because you're taking Merv, trying to get Merv out of the house, and he locks in position in the doorway. And everyone who's ever walked a dog knows that happens. So
yes,
did you have to, when you're doing that, is the trainer 2 inches behind you, or how does that work?
So that, again, is a very specific thing that they had to train for the movie.
Okay.
So the trainers worked with the dog, and then when he got used to the idea of resisting and pulling back. And when he got to learn that command, they brought me in for some rehearsals to do it with him. That's a really tricky one because it goes against pretty much every instinct that the dog will have.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm like, this is either they got a dog who's just pissed off, or this dog deserves an Oscar.
No, he's really, really good. There's when you're filming there with a dog, there are trainers with sausages on sticks everywhere. Because you need the only way you can get the dog to look where you need him to look is with a sausage on a stick.
Yeah, well, hey, it kind of works for me too. So
Yeah. I said the same thing. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So working with Zooey Deschanel, who's wonderful, and she is, you call her the goat of rom-coms. I could see that. I mean, but she's a person you instantly fall in love with. So the hard part is to accept that anyone would break up with her. But how did you like working with her?
Well, I think yes, and I think the insinuation is that she broke up with me.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious. I loved it. You know, yes, like you said, there's no one better than her in this genre. She's got so much charisma and so much kind of likability, and she's so funny. That was. I have to be honest, that was kind of the big draw for me to do something like this, which is such a departure for me in terms of the stuff I've done in the past. Getting the opportunity to work with her and kind of in this tone, kind of learn from the best.
Charlie, did she sing on set at all? She seems like she would be the type. We know she has a great voice, but did she, like in between takes, just sing while she was getting ready to work?
I'm sure she did. We did go. We all went with the crew. We went on a karaoke night.
Oh, there you go.
Which is my idea of absolute hell.
Not a singer, huh?
And so they managed to force me to do a duet with one of the crew members. I think I did a Blink 182 song just so I could shout it and not have to sing.
Yeah.
You know what's funny?
But Zoe, of course, sang a few songs, and you know she has a band. She's an amazing singer,
and she sings in one of the classic scenes in the movie Elf.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's funny. I'm looking at you right now, and I'm thinking about you and Zoe totally make sense as a couple because you actually look like one of the Property Brothers. And did you get to meet the Property Brothers while you guys were on set by any chance?
I got to meet Jonathan. He's an absolute delight. I met him a number of times. He came out to set. But he's much taller than me.
Yeah. Charlie, looking at you via Zoom, I was not aware of the ink that you have on your right arm. A lot of times makeup is used to cover those up. What is the tattoo next to the tree there? It's like a little guy. No, the other side, right there. What is that? He's like a little guy.
Which one?
Yeah, that one. What is that?
This one. So this is a piece of penne pasta on a telephone.
Yes, I love it.
I assume that's
if we had more time, I would tell you the story.
Okay,
behind it, but,
I gotcha.
How many times has that been used in any of the period pieces you've done?
It's a staple. Yeah.
Listen,
I'm a very serious person, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me tell people though, your sense of humor and your ability to do comedy is displayed throughout the movie. Of course, Zoe's is coming after you because the dog goes into a depression. Merv gets depressed until you guys want to get together. But there are a number of different people in it. Chris Redd is in it, who's very funny.
He's great, isn't he? Great.
He's terrific. And but again, I'm a sucker for these things. It works on all the different levels. Now that you've done one, you think you might do another, some more rom-coms, some more holiday movies?
I would love to, and also, I grew up on these films. I remember when I would first started watching movies with my mum and dad. There were a lot of rom-coms back in the day, family movie rom-coms that really the whole family could enjoy, and the adult themes were kind of there, but they weren't egregious, so they weren't alienating a younger audience. There's not many movies like that made anymore. The comedies tend to be very farcical or very silly or very adult, with very adult themes. So the things that drew me to this script was that that it is a family movie, that it is a rom-com, and something that maybe my kids can watch.
It hits right in the pocket, so people know that I'm a big Christmas fan, and I love this. And again, it's if you don't, whatever the deal is, if you like just rom-coms and funny stuff, it's well worth seeing. But we'd be remiss, Charlie, if we didn't talk about Daredevil, which we are massive fans of. I remember I was calling everybody. I literally watched season 1 of Daredevil straight through. Some of the finest television. I sat there for like a vegetable for hours.
Yeah, you watched it one day?
In one day. Because it was so, your performance staggering. Vincent D'Onofrio, who we just had on the show.
Yeah.
We just had Hunter Doohan from Daredevil Born Again. That, for you as an actor, to wrap your acting chops around a character as explosive and smart and contemplative, all of these rolled into one, it's got to be one of the paramount roles of your career.
Oh, easily, yeah. It's such a gift, and it is the gift that currently that keeps on giving. It's also, it's so wonderful for the role that kind of will end up kind of, partly defining my career as an actor is so different to the person that I am. There's so many elements to the character that I have to work on in order to kind of get him right. Not just the physicality, but also the visual impairment, the accent. I know nothing about martial arts, or I know, never been to law school or anything of those things. So it's a gift of a job.
I love you.
And long may it continue.
You're relaying a story that during the classic hall fight from the first season that you had a guy who was no shock, was your kind of your stunt double doing the fight, and then in the casual sequence after where you're carrying the child you've rescued, you injured yourself. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. Now, I have to say that was week 2 in 2014, week 2 of the production. I'd only just really got the job.
All right.
So, as the seasons have progressed, I do more and more of the stunts. I get much more involved. I love that aspect of it now.
Well, I know for a fact you did in the recent season, in the fight with Bullseye, the knife fight in the hallway.
That was
That looks like you. That looks like you.
That's a lot of me. Yeah, a lot of me in that.
Very impressive.
I don't know if you had the opportunity to see Spider-Man: No Way Home in a movie theater, but if you did, then you know exactly what I'm going to talk about. But when you make your first appearance in that movie, it was so exciting. Like there was an audible ooh, and then cheers when they saw you. Did you have the luxury of seeing that in the theater with an audience?
I got a call from Marvel saying, obviously we want to keep it a secret, but if you can sneak into a movie theater, you have to have that experience. So I had my publicist contacted a local multiplex near where I live. They snuck me in on the first weekend, and my wife filmed me, and it was dead quiet, not a single peep.
No! Well, we're here to tell you we've seen the reaction, and it's a massive. And for people who are interested, again, a delightful, real old-style rom-com, if you're a dog person.
Yep.
I really enjoyed Merv, Charlie. It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
All right, we know you got to run, but thank you, Charlie. It's wonderful to talk to you, and take care. Merv is in theaters. It's on Amazon Prime now. Thank you. Let's hear for Charlie Cox, everybody. Yeah. Take care, man.
It's on Prime, and it's up now.
Yeah, exactly. So, man, there was something else I was going to bring up about him. Oh, you know what I forgotten he was in was The Theory of Everything.
He's great.
He was excellent in that.
He played Daredevil in that.
It was wild to see him as Daredevil in The Theory of Everything.
Wait, who was he in The Theory of Everything?
He plays...
Why are you wearing that mask?
I believe or what turns out to be her lover.
Yeah.
Who was played by, Felicity Jones. Yeah. And it was...
Felicity.
Yeah, Felicity. She ends up in a relationship. He kind of becomes their helper. It's a great movie. So that was cool to have him on. All right, we are going to take ourselves a quick break. We'll come back in just a moment. And when we return, letter of the day for the Word of the Week prize, wrapping up the program. So stay with us.
Is the third leg of the stool.
All right, Casey, who are you going to vote for? Kenny or Brad went first?
Brad did go first. I'm going to give the slight edge to Brad there.
All right, Steve?
I'm going to slight edge to Brad.
How about Kathy?
Brad.
And Nick?
Brad.
Yeah, same here. Goes to Brad.
Hey, look at the big green on Brad.
All right, what do we have for Brad, please?
All right, Brad, you are... I'm not going to do the Bill Weston. You got a case of Loverboy. You might recall Loverboy from Bravo's hit reality series Summer House. Loverboy is a high-quality, low-calorie, zero-sugar sparkling hard tea, and you can enjoy Loverboy at Kellyanne's Bar and Grill, which is located at 1549 Spray Garden Street in Philly.
Some people call her Annabelle.
The funny thing is that Santa impersonation is almost like Bill trying to do an impersonation of himself.
Yeah, a little bit, yes.
Because he starts to talk like this with a little bit of John Wayne.
Yeah. He's doing a wonderful riff on Santa Claus, and it does sound a little John Wayne-esque.
I can't believe that Bill doesn't like that because it's so funny. The comedy is like. I know it makes him cringe a little bit, but it's for me, that's the shining Bill Weston moment.
Yeah.
That call is the best.
That he does, listen, he knows he thinks I'm full of crap when I say that, but I think that's a big indicator that you call up your boss and without even indicating what you wanted, he plays along. That's pretty cool.
I thought so too. You know, on top of a Talk Like Bill Weston Day, a Talk Like Dr. Mike Day, we could even do a Talk Like Gary Lauer Day.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
If that's even possible.
You remember, the Gary Lauer prank phone call?
No.
Did
you call him?
Yeah, well, so we said Gary, we had him call Gary because Gary was being inappropriate, like at an event.
Oh, we had Bill call Gary.
Right.
Do you have that?
Hang on. I got to find it. But yeah.
And it was you, was it not?
It was me.
Yeah.
So again, we had him. It was like a reverse prank phone call because he was the one who made the phone call. He called
the studio. Didn't realize
he might have called the studio line, but yeah.
Wait, I don't follow. What happened?
All right, so the prank phone call, we had him call Gary because
we had Bill call Gary.
Yeah.
So what he thought was Gary.
What he thought was Gary.
Oh, and it was actually Casey.
me.
Gary.
So Gary's not actually involved in
Not
this
at all.
Right.
No.
Okay.
Because you answer the phone, you go, Bill Weston! Bill Weston's on my phone or something like that.
This is it right here.
Okay, all right, hang on a second here. Here we go.
Hello?
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 I'm looking for Gary Lauer.
This is Gary.
Gary Lauer, this is Bill Weston at WMMR.
Bill Weston! Hey, Bill! Hey, Nightmare Bill Weston!
Hey, settle down. We need to
Settle down.
This is kind of a serious call.
Oh, Bill Weston! You're calling my phone.
Well, I had to chase it down from a couple different people to get to talk to you. It's about what happened at the Preston and Steve mixer at Parks.
Oh, I had such a great time last night. I forgot my teeth. I didn't have my jam.
Yeah. Hey. Well, here's
Hey, it's not even a gross impersonation. It's terrible.
I love it.
Oh, and by the way, was he not calling the studio line?
That's it. Because Casey gave him the studio line, and we couldn't believe that Bill didn't recognize the studio line.
We're gonna do a two-parter on that. We're gonna come back.
We have a contest to complete.
And plus, it'll help kill some time in between our contestants. So, let me get our next callers on the line. I'm Talk Like Bill Weston Day. Who said it best? And I have Ryan to start with. Hey, Ryan, how you doing, buddy? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I was waiting for someone to open with something like that. Keith, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, Keith, we're going to do Talk Like Bill Weston, Who Said It Best? And we'll start with Ryan. Ryan, please give us the line that we gave you.
Don't compromise show quality just because you can't see the barn door.
That's pretty good.
All right, Keith,
That's where the barn door comes from.
Keith, you got to beat that. Can you give us your line?
All right, do not compromise show quality just because you can see the barn door.
Wow, those are pretty good. Yeah.
All right, let's start with Kathy. Kathy, the first one to go was Ryan, and the second one was Keith. Who's it going to be?
Ryan.
All right, Ryan. Steve, who do you think?
They were really good, but I'm going to have to say Ryan just by a little bit.
All right, Casey?
I agree with both of you guys. Ryan.
All right, Nick?
Yeah, Ryan as well.
And Ryan as well. It's a clean sweep. Thank you for your call, Keith. We appreciate it. But
Good
Ryan
job.
is our winner. And what do we have for Ryan, Casey?
Ryan, you have the Batman on digital. The Batman is caught in yes, you are privileged, in a deadly game of cat and mouse with the Riddler in this gritty thriller starring Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz. And you can own it on 4K Ultra HD on May 24th or on digital right now.
By the way, it's not just a signal, it's a warning.
Yes. All right, here's a little bit more of Casey pretending to be Gary Lauer when Bill had called him to talk him. I guess he had to chastise him a little bit.
Yeah, he acted up inappropriately a little bit at one of the mixers.
Here we go.
It's about what happened at the Preston and Steve mixer at Parks.
Oh, I had such a great time that night. I forgot my teeth. I didn't have my jam.
Yeah. Hey. Well, here's the problem, Gary.
Wait, is there a problem? Oh, I didn't bring my camera. I had a picture taken with Kathy Romano, but I didn't get a camera and I don't have email. Can Kathy print me out a picture? Because I got a picture with her and I got a picture with Marissa. I couldn't find Casey anywhere, but I got a picture with them, and I don't have email.
Gary, I need you to stop talking and listen to me.
I want to hear that last part again. Hang on there.
Gary, I need you to stop talking and listen to me.
All right, we have to come back for part 3. We'll continue with the stammering.
All right, we will go to our next 2 callers. We are going to have Horace. Hey, Horace, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Horace. All right, hang on. We're going to have you on board with Chris. Chris, good morning, buddy.
Good morning.
All right, so whoever said it Beston is going to be our winner. Horace, we're going to begin with you. Give us your Bill Weston line, please.
This humyuggle thinks she's some kind of Susie cream cheese.
This uncle thinks he's some kind of Susie cream cheese.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, let's hear yours, please.
This homie uncle thinks she's some kind of Susie cream cheese.
All right, we need to vote. Casey?
The first one.
Horace.
Yes.
All right, Steve.
Though Chris did a fine job, because it's hard to hit that tone, I'm going to have to go with the first one.
And Kathy.
Horace.
Yep. And
Horace, yeah.
And Horace on me, too. That's a clean sweep. Chris kind of ended with a question in the voice, and therefore not quite Bill Weston-esque. So, Horace, here's what we have for you, my man.
Horace, you have the Batman on digital. The Batman is caught in a deadly game of cat and mouse with the Riddler in this gritty thriller starring Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz. By the way, this movie is Steve Morrison approved, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And you could own it on 4K Ultra HD on May 24th or on digital right now.
All right, a little bit more of our Gary Lauer conversation with Bill Weston. Here we go.
And I don't have email.
Gary, I need you to stop talking and listen to me. All right?
Bill's trying my
Okay.
How you behaved at the mixer is causing problems. It was reported that you were either inebriated, high, or a combination of both.
I was so high and so drunk. I had such a good time, man.
Pause. Ready? Here it is.
Wait.
Is this Casey?
You just called the hotline. I need your consent. Can we play this on the air?
Everything except the asshole part.
Yes. Oh, I want to hear that pause again because that is priceless. Hang on, here we go.
I was so high and so drunk. I had such a good time, man.
Is this Casey?
Oh my God! Holy crap!
You just called the hotline.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
I need your consent. Can we play this on the air?
Oh, that is.
Oh my God!
That is absolutely priceless.
That is so
He's
good.
a good boss.
He's a great boss. He gave us some of the best audio.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get our next callers on the line. We have Justin, who is there. Hey, Justin. Good morning. Yeah, very well done, Justin. All right, let's go next to... No, doesn't work that way. That was Foo Fighters and Asking for a Friend on 93.3 WMMR. We'll do the letter in just a moment.
Do you want me to soften that guy up a bit?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, son of a bitch.
All right, do something for him.
All right, here we go.
Yeah,
I thought you might like this.
Thank you. Douchebag. All right, 10:33. Matt Core's just saying random words as he comes walking in. What?
He came in.
I was playing with the
in the other room, and
oh, you didn't do that.
I was shuffling commercials around.
I don't think they would have done that.
Okay, no, shuffle it.
No,
all right.
He suddenly became Urkel. Did I do that?
I did that.
Yeah, I'm like,
No,
oh man.
No, it was all good.
I think you did it.
Oh, man.
I think it was. I think it was Matt.
Shut up.
Taking the blame. Thanks, Matt.
Taking the blame for Casey. Casey's the one that did that. So
We're team players here, guys.
I'm the one who didn't do that.
That's right. He didn't take it off.
I
of
didn't
automatic.
take it off of automatic.
It's okay. Don't worry, folks. We got this under control.
We're professionals.
I would like
decades
to
in the
take
business.
a moment to thank some people that joined us on the program. We had some guests today. We had a wonderful conversation with a really cool person. It's in the 7 o'clock hour this morning from Stranger Things. Cara Buono came in. She's Mrs. Wheeler. She's Karen Wheeler, Nancy's and Mike's mother on the show. She was just delightful. I love her.
I love that she loves being a part of this
Oh,
because for the fans, it means everything to see them as excited as we are.
I'm wearing my Hellfire Club shirt, and I told you guys I had wrestled with how do I want to geek out that much for somebody. And she comes in, the first thing she's like, "Oh my God, yes!" She's like, and I said, I didn't know if I should wear this or not. She's like, "I have one of those, and I wear it all the time." So it was really, really sweet. We had a great conversation with her. She's awesome and beautiful and talented and all these great things. So it was great to have her by this morning. And we also had on the program Mr. Skin.
Yes, who's beautiful.
He's wonderful and talented. He's got the year-end top 10 of Mr. Skin. And while it's not hardcore pornography, the ads on the website are.
You need to be alert to that, but it's fascinating.
And it's free.
Yeah.
So it was cool having him on. He's a really nice guy, too. And also, we had a great conversation with Charlie Cox, who was just on the show. The movie called Merv is very, very sweet. It is priming. It is not priming. It's streaming now on Prime. And if you want to see a nice rom-com, a good, a nice heartfelt story,
I saw it. I loved it.
One to see.
A lot of fun.
All right, and then we have Matt Cord.
What a show!
I know, right?
Yeah,
It was a
I
good
don't
one,
know
too.
anything about Stranger Things,
Oh man,
but I know
so good.
Who's the kid with the curly hair? Gaetan Matarazzo.
Yeah.
It's from Jersey.
Yeah, he sang, I think 3 or 4 times years ago the national anthem at Sixer games.
No kidding. Now he was a Broadway guy.
Yeah.
He's a Broadway kid coming up, and he really while you were there.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And who knew he was going to be this
Yeah,
massive
exactly.
star?
Yeah.
Was this after Stranger Things or well before?
10 years ago, maybe. What's that?
So, do you remember
Roughly,
Preston, years
about when it
ago?
started.
I don't think. It was before Stranger Things because it was like up and coming, and somebody on the staff knows him because he's from South Jersey, like near the shore.
Yeah, so maybe, but early on we were going to have him on the show.
I was just like, look at this cute kid with
we
the
both
curly
fell in
hair.
love with Stranger Things, and all of us on the show, and they said, "Oh, he'll come on, but he won't talk about Stranger Things."
Yeah, at the time it was just promoting music and so on.
Yeah.
But you've had Taylor Swift sang
Taylor
one
Swift
time.
sang it when she was 12 years old in 2003.
When you guys have those, when you have the kids come out, now that you know about like Taylor Swift, you kind of keep an eye and go,
Yeah.
let's see if this might turn into something.
There's I'll talk to them before, and I'm like, how old are you? Well, Taylor Swift sang. And they're like, but when Taylor Swift sang in 2003, she was 12. She cracked like twice.
No kidding.
Yes, you can find it on YouTube. And I remember hearing in my headphones, no more kids.
And it was Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she was nervous.
That's funny.
Yeah. From Wyomissing, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
12-year-old.
Taylor Swift.
It's a skill to develop, but when you get in front of a crowd like that, and Matt, now you're a veteran and top of the tops of this, but those sound systems can be wonky.
It's the
what
hardest
you're hearing.
song in the world to sing.
Yeah.
Marissa found the YouTube clip of Gaetan singing at the Sixers game. It was 9 years ago.
Okay.
So that's when that took place.
April
That's cool.
10th, 2016. When did the show debut? Do we think?
It was 2015, I think. So maybe after that first season, he was on about doing it. I don't know. All right. Well, anyway, you ready to do the letter, dude?
Yes, I'm
All right,
ready to do it.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
So the Preston and Steve show is brought to you today by the letter
A, as in appease.
And we have one more letter to go. Tomorrow being Friday, we'll give away our Word of the Week prize, a $450 gift card to Steven Singer Jewelers. You can visit Steven's new location in Newtown, Bucks County. It's now open in the Village next to the Capitol Grill. Visit IHateStevensinger.com as well. All right, what's up today, man?
Well, today is Daryl Jones' birthday, the bass player for the Rolling Stones.
Oh.
You know, he's been the bass player for the Rolling Stones since 1993.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Wow. No,
So
I
he's
did not know
actually
that.
been the bass player longer than Bill Wyman was.
That's nuts.
So we'll do a nice long block of the Stones. Shinedown, just because it's Shinedown. Why not? You know, Zach and
Corey? No.
Jesus Christ. Brent.
Thank you.
Tito.
Yeah. And that's great news about the Show of Life that's going to stream on,
Yes.
what's it? Veeps?
Veeps.
Yeah. And a block of Van Halen. And we'll go either Dave or Sammy or all together.
I love that.
Maybe even Gary Cherone.
You'll throw a little Gary Cherone in there, will you?
All right, one more little detail. Looks like Gaetan also performed in 2014.
Okay, so twice.
that was it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Nice. All right.
Oh, and Vinyl Cut. Oh, wait. Two more things.
yeah.
Vinyl Cut's the 45 of Pearl Jam's Last Kiss.
Awesome.
It was only two.
That's how they originally released it, right?
Right.
For the fan club.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we carted it up at Y100 and made it into a song, and it became their biggest selling single of all time.
Wow.
And Eddie mentions that on stage, and I got the audio when Pierre and Nick and I interviewed him.
That's right.
I say, hey, I carted that up, and I played it. I don't want to pat myself on the back. He's like, well, you should.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
But he tells a great story when he was in Hawaii, and he's like living off the land. And he came back and turned on Hawaiian radio, and it was on. He's like, whoa, this is a big song. All
This
of a sudden.
can't be.
Yeah.
What's happening? I almost threw up my pineapple.
One more thing. D student trivia at 1:40, and it's 4-pack of tickets. How do you say his name? Pete Corielli?
Yeah, Corielli.
Pete Corielli.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I love it.
Got a jam-back show.
All right. Thank you very much, Matt Corden. Thank you to our sponsors. Preston Steve Show brought to you today by Acme Markets, and it's fresh food, local flavors, and also Dunkin'. And the Preston Steve Show runs on Dunkin'. Tomorrow, no Sad Bro Friday. We will have Ellen Latson on in the studio. She played in Christmas Vacation, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. She was Ruby Sue.
Yeah.
Cute little character. We've talked to her before, so she'll be in the studio tomorrow. It's Friday, so we'll do the connoisseur segment, and we'll give away the stuff that we have to give away. That's it. We are done. Rage on, and have yourself a great day in the morning. We'll see you tomorrow, friend. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm.